Hello, everybody. Hi. Good to see you all. All of my friends are here. There's my little sister. And my Filipinos. Hi, honey. So good to see you. Laura Wharton, good to have you. Oh no, your home's gonna be so quiet. I'll let you borrow Ava. She gets loud. Hi, CE, honey. Good to have you. Tammy. Hi, honey. I'm so happy you're here. Hi, crazy old lady. But that's my job. Hi, Patty P. How are you, honey? Jackson Cherries is here. Hi, sweetie. You sure did. Oh my gosh. She's seriously like putting her head on the armrest of the chair and like nudging me like that. She's like, I know you're live. Hi. I'm so happy you made it. Shane in the house. All right. I'm here. Gee whiz. Okay. Come on. There's everybody's pretty girl. Everybody's pretty girl. Yes. She's been such a good girl, and we've been working on a new trick, but I used up the trick treats, so I have to grab the other bag in order to do it, because I'm not going to have her perform without treats. She knows exactly what I'm saying, too. She knows exactly what I'm saying. But I will do that. Good morning, Salty Buddha. Good to have you, love. I know. Even if you get them all, you still feel like you're missing someone. And, oh, man. You guys are just not allowed to have lives outside of being here for this stream. Seriously. Do you know how much I miss you guys when you're not here? When I don't have my chat? Do you know how heart-wrenching it is when you guys have things like work and school and life? I mean, I miss Palmyra. Jenny Green! Hi, Jenny Green! So good to have you, honey. I know. That's why everybody wants to come early. Oh no, Salty Buddha. Then I better get on with the clips. I know. Breaks my heart. My poor little broken heart over not having you guys all the time. Just come move in with me. It's not that big of a house, but I think with a little construction work, we can build enough like lofty shelf kind of beds. It's a good idea. I mean, they do it in like Tokyo in the rail system. They got all those little like bed pods. And then, when somebody wants to get out of them, they can like ring a bell or something. And one of the other chat members can come over and like pull the pod door open and crawl out of there. I think it's fabulous. We can maybe fit like, I don't know, a couple hundred people in here at least in this house. Oh my gosh. Hi, Patrick B. Welcome to the party. All the kitties. All of them. Kitties all around. This whole house. Like, seriously, my dream in life was to have my house constructed around my cats. Like there's a couple, golly, I wonder if I can find it. There is a couple that they did that. Their house is like entirely made for their cats. It's got this giant spiral cat case coming down the middle of the house. It's got, in every closet has a litter box, but they've got fans built in, like exhaust system fans built into every closet. So there's no smell, which I really want. I want that system, like exhaust systems all around. And oh my gosh, of course, Palms too. Yes. No. Way more fun because it's us. Night shift with April at gmail.com. And I would love to see them. Yes, I am such a cat person. I love my Ava. Don't get me wrong. She's my baby. My grandbaby. But my kitties, those are that's my true heart right there. I will make sure when I build my cat dream house, I will buy a property next to it for those with allergies to stay. And we'll just have an allergy home and then our cat home and dog home, of course. The amount of land I'm going to need, it'll be fenced in, and we can go outside and we can throw tennis balls for the dogs all day long. We can get those automatic tennis ball shooters that, the dogs eventually learn to play with themselves with it, where they'll like carry the ball to the shooter and drop the ball into the top and then thump, like one of those like tennis practice machines, Yeah. We've got this, guys. Every one of them. Yep. Maine Coons are really cool, though. Man, they're huge. And I love cats with big paws. I love big, beefy cats. Like Billy O.T., of course. You can tell when a cat was born inside versus outside, because the ones that come to you after having been feral or stray, they are like beefy. they're strong, and they're such fierce hunters. And then there's Earl. He's like a slinky. He's like a ferret, but in cat form. He's so, like, he's not fragile, but he's like lanky. I love him, but like, I feel like I could go like this with him. He's just, oh, he's funny though. But he's the best dang fly hunter that there is, man. If there's a fly in the house, Earl has got it. Or if he can't get the fly, he takes down the curtains trying. Yeah, I had to put one of those support bracer screws in the middle of my curtain rod. And so I've got, the support bracers. It's got the hook on either side that you hook the curtain rod up. And then I've got a support bracer under each side and one in the middle. And you know what I have? A bent curtain rod that half the time is not connected to the curtain rod hook at the top. Because Earl saw a fly. Of course. And I wouldn't have it any other way. And someday I will have my cat house. All right. Since Salty Boot has only got an hour, I'm going to throw on something good right away. So some of you have seen the SovCit Karen, but did you know that there was an appearance before that she failed to appear on? I got curious because, she had contempt charges, obviously for actions. And so I went back and I found her previous appearance that she failed to appear, but you will love what she did instead.
Good morning. We're on the record in the 89th District Court for the County of Sheboygan. We're here in the matter of contempt of Beth Bridgman. It was committed and filed under the case of People v. Seth Flores, filed 23-0868 SD. Counsel, you want to state your appearance for the record, please?
Melissa Goodrich, Wayne County Prosecutor.
All right, Ms. Bridgman is not present in the courtroom. Have we confirmed she's not out in the hallway? Okay, she's not out in the hallway. Ms. Bridgman was, the court issued a order to show cause why she should not be held in contempt for the unauthorized practice of law and also preventing defendant Flores from meeting with his attorney before his arraignment. I do see in the file a proof of service that she has been served with that. And in fact, also in the file where Ms. Bridgman has returned the show cause cut into pieces with red writing on it, stating your offer to contract is not accepted. So she apparently, this was received today by the court. So she's been to the courthouse this morning to deliver this. Is not present for her show cause. Prior to the issuance of the bench warrant, I guess I'd give her a 15-minute window to appear. It is 11:03 right now. We'll go off the record and recess until 11:15 and reconvene. If she does appear sooner, just let me know and we can reconvene at that time. We'll be in recess till 11:15.
So she cut the paperwork up after writing all over it that she does not agree to contract.
All right, we're back on the record and recalling the case of in re contempt of Beth Bridgman, filed 23-0868 SD. It's now 11:16. Ms. Bridgman is still not present in the courtroom. Is she present in the hallway?
Not present.
Okay, she's not present. This appears to be a willful non-appearance due to the fact that she's returned the show cause affidavit and the order with it cut into pieces with the red lettering. Your offer to contract is not accepted. Of course, it's not an offer, it's an order of the court to show cause. She has now willfully not appeared. Ms. Goodrich, do the people have a request?
Your Honor, at this time, since we're here on a show cause, she's been properly served and also given an additional 15 minutes to appear. We would ask for a bench warrant to be issued.
Request as to bond.
No bond.
I think given the willfulness of the behavior, we'll set bond at arraignment. So I'll issue a warrant for Ms. Bridgman's arrest for her contempt for non-appearance today with no bond to be pre-posted.
Who saw that coming?
Thank you.
All right, are we all set in district court to clerk the arraignment from district court, but I'll convene it in the circuit courtroom?
I am, Your Honor.
I'll mute the district courtroom, okay. All right, I'll put everybody be back in the waiting room for a moment. We'll get the defendant out and we'll bring it back in.
This. Sure. Thank you, so good. You took some thousand. Okay. Such an interesting outfit.
All right, good morning. We are on the record in the 89th District Court for the County of Sheboygan. We're conducting the physical hearing upstairs in the circuit courtroom. It's being clerked by the 89th District Court staff down in that courtroom. And we're here in the case of In Re Beth Bridgman on a contempt matter. It was filed in an underlying criminal case 23-0868 SD. We are providing public access both in the courtroom, in the circuit courtroom, and also online. Counsel, you want to state your appearances, please?
Good morning, Your Honor. Paige Miller on behalf of the people.
Attorney Eric Villanueva appearing as arraignment attorney on behalf of Beth Bridgman.
All right, good morning, Ms.
Although I will represent myself.
Yes,
Okay.
we'll get to that.
I would like to say I'm here on special appearance. No, I think I have some rights here. I don't know.
What does special appearance mean
That
to you?
pose.
It means in a common law that I'm a living soul. I am not the straw man of the all caps.
And you'll have an opportunity at a later time. Please just take a seat.
I've never seen those opportunities come back around. Thank you.
We'll
Okay.
get to that in a moment.
So
but
I am
now's
waiving-
not the time.
I am not waiving any of my
Ma'am,
rights.
Ma'am, okay, thank you.
Ms. Bridgman, you're free to stand or sit, whichever you're more comfortable with.
I don't know how I would pull a chair up, so thank you.
Well, if you want to sit that, I have no problem.
She's a peach.
All right, well, Ms. Bridgman, you're here for an arraignment on 2 allegations of contempt. So I have to advise you of what those are. The first was an order to show cause that I signed on December 13th, 2023, which alleges that you are in criminal contempt of court for the unauthorized practice of law and for preventing the defendant, Seth Flores, from meeting with the Michigan Indigent Defense Commission attorney prior to his arraignment. We scheduled that for a show cause hearing on December 20th. You did apparently appear in the courthouse that day and turned in a copy of the show cause cut into strips with the red lettering on it says your offer to contract is not accepted. And then you did not appear at that show cause hearing. So therefore I signed a warrant for your arrest for that non-appearance. So that warrant alleges that you are in criminal contempt for failing to appear at that show cause.
So
Failing to appear for order to show cause on Wednesday, December 20th, 2023, at 11 a.m. for preventing defendant Seth Miguel Thomas Flores from meeting with MIDC attorney prior to his arraignment. So those are the 2 contempt citations pending against you. you have the right to have a hearing on both of those allegations, where your contempt would need to be proven beyond a reasonable doubt. You have the right to present evidence in your own defense and cross-examine and challenge any of the evidence presented against you. You have the right to an attorney. If you qualified and requested, you have the right to an attorney appointed at public expense. The MIDC provides an attorney for your arraignment today, just as a courtesy and as required by a
What is
statute.
MIDC?
Michigan Indigent Defense Commission.
You also, of course, have the right to represent yourself. Do you know, well, first, do you comprehend the penalties? Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't tell you. So both those contempt citations, if you are found to be in contempt or you admit to being in contempt, you could be punished by up to 93 days in the county jail and or a fine of $7,500 or both. That's the fine. That's the maximum penalty for both of the contempt citations. Ms. Bridgman, do you comprehend the rights that you have that I outlined for you and the maximum penalties I outlined for you?
I think that I would like to wait. I have a call in to the state trooper that your office or the prosecutor's office called to investigate something with me. And I was on the phone with her and told her I had received the show cause, and she said, he can't serve a show cause. I shot over a copy of it. He can't serve a show cause because you're not under bond. This is from the state attorney general's office. I was still on the phone with her. I had filed the paperwork at 9 o'clock. She called me at approximately 10 o'clock. I was still on the phone with her till after 11 o'clock. And she told me that you could not issue a show cause because I was not under bond. Now I understand you have just precluded all of my common law rights by forcing me in the back door into your jurisdiction on this side of the court. And I know that this is not what was on the original document in its entirety. So you have amped up the charges based on the fact that I failed to appear, but I believed she was going to let you know. She was collecting information from me for you.
Ma'am,
Okay, now,
just understand what the judge asked you regarding those two charges.
Did you just understand that I think there's a bigger overriding issue?
But.
Thank you.
Hang on.
Thank you.
I'm not going to have this.
I'm going to
Hang
fire
on.
him, actually, so thank you very much, because I will represent myself.
Okay. So you're telling me things in defense of the contempt citations, and you'll definitely have an opportunity to present. any of
No,
that.
because you already,
Hang on, Mr. Villanueva, please stop. I don't want to have this be an argument between
Thank
you
you.
and Ms. Bridges.
I guess I just like to, state that.
well, I think we need to
she's
back it up.
pleading not guilty to both of those, and that she would
Okay.
like to request a hearing, that she would like to represent herself at that future
Okay.
hearing.
No,
Your Honor,
but
I
all
just
of my
want to-
rights were strongly impinged upon for even when I never failed to appear.
Okay. We're going to have a hearing where you.
She
can
was
present that.
working, okay,
Okay, you're gonna get your
Mr.
hearing.
Villanueva,
No,
I'm
this
directing you to
is-
stop
thank you.
arguing with Ms. Bridges.
Okay,
I mean, it's a pretty serious thing to have to spend the night in jail, to be brought in handcuffs and everything else, when I was not being belligerent in that regard. She told me that it was not an authorized show cause.
All right, if she told you that, she didn't have the authority to do so. But anyway,
Court
that's for
order.
the later hearing. So
Well, she
today's
was
purpose is
investigating,
to-
okay.
Today's purpose is to advise you of the two contempt citations. So do you comprehend the maximum penalty that those could carry and the rights that you have that I outlined for you?
Now, can I ask, what statutes or what law or what are you saying here are the charges? Because this does not match, sorry, I have cotton mouth so bad. This does not match what the previous document was that you sent to me. And I have a picture of it on my phone, but my phone's not with me. Okay,
I
it
told
does
you-
not say,
I've told you the charges. I don't have to answer further questions about that from you. Do you understand the rights that I listed for you and the penalties?
why have they changed,
I'm
Judge
not
Becky?
answering that question.
Can the prosecutor?
No,
Why?
I need an answer to my question. Do you understand that? So you said you want to represent yourself, right? You wish to represent yourself and not have an attorney represent you?
Yes, I
Okay.
do.
If you want to do that, I must establish that you know what the penalties are and what your rights are. And I have to establish that you're not going to be disruptive to the court. If you refuse,
So are
if
those,
you refuse, then I'm going to appoint
not
an attorney for
refusing.
you. Okay, then I would appoint an attorney for you and you'd not be able to represent yourself.
I know, I listened to that with Trevor's case.
All right, so I'm asking you, and you saw what.
How
happened,
can I
Mr. Ms. Bridgman? So I first have to make sure you know what the maximum penalties are and what your rights are. Do you not?
Those maximal penalties are based on the charges, and I'm wondering how you arrived at a change in the charges.
I'm not answering that question. You know that you could face up to 93 days in jail and over $7,500 fine. You understand that.
Up to that, okay, but I don't even understand what the charges are.
Okay. And do you have any questions for me about any of the rights that I listed, that you have to have an attorney and have a hearing and present evidence? Do you have any question about any of those rights?
I have a whole question about the whole context of everything today, Judge Gothier.
It's really quite simple. When you have an order to show up for court and you turn in a cut up piece of paper of it to say you're refusing to attend, that this is what happens next. That's pretty simple.
Oh, did that offend you?
No, it did not offend me. It was a contempt of court.
It's a
What?
common
It's
law.
not about anybody's personal feelings. It's about the authority of the court to compel appearances. You did not appear. So I do believe, based upon your answers, that you do understand the maximum penalties that you face and the rights that you have.
This woman is insufferable. Can you imagine being in a room and trying to have a conversation with her? Oh my gosh. Wow. Woman, you don't even know what your rights are. Black's Law Dictionary is just that. Oh my gosh. And they treat it like it's some kind of Bible to their mission. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. This one has me just fired up.
So, Ms. Bridgman, Mr. Villanueva indicated that you wish to plead not guilty to those charges of contempt. I gather from your comments that you would agree that you're not pleading guilty.
Correct.
That's correct. Okay. All right. So we'll enter a not guilty plea on your behalf to both contempt citations. We'll schedule this for a hearing where the prosecutor will present evidence, and you can present evidence in your defense. If you want to have an officer come testify on your behalf, you can certainly do so.
I would like to request a trial by jury.
There is no right to trial by jury in a contempt matter. So
Oh.
that request would be denied.
Okay, so then there's no chance to understand what you're charging me with prior to this hearing.
I've told you what you charged. I can read it again if you want.
I don't see where there's
I have
a
little-
code or statute or any law that I have actually violated here.
Well, that's not required to be on a contempt citation. I've told you what the allegations are. If you want me to read them to you again, I will. I'm not
Okay,
gonna argue
and
with you about what they
And
are.
the contempt charges that you're saying have changed from the first time.
No, there are two. One is the contempt for unauthorized practice of law and preventing Mr. Flores from meeting with his MIDC attorney prior to his arraignment. The second.
I
one
love that,
is for
Patrick.
failing to appear for the show cause hearing on that contempt.
So I only show one now,
What is
Okay.
what one you have?
and this is preventing. And how did you arrive at this at a later date than to issue a bench warrant?
Mr. Villanueva.
There's two items check marked here.
This is after the fact, so then you added a different charge than the previous one about the same date.
Ma'am, he read two charges. There's two charges marked here.
Excuse me. I probably have more degrees than you do,
All right.
okay?
All right.
Now,
I'm gonna find that,
what please, Judge Gothier,
sure, go ahead.
thank you, okay. So the first one was that I was practicing law. That was the first one. That's the show cause that you say I failed to appear for.
No, it was contempt for unauthorized practice of law and preventing defendant Flores from meeting with MIDC attorney prior to his arraignment. That was on the original.
No, I have a picture of the original one. This is why I'm not sure.
Do you have a copy of that show cause in front of you right now or no?
This one,
Would Your Honor like to see what she has
But-
here?
I just, so if you
okay,
don't.
so how do I defend?
Hang on. If you do not have in front of you right now a copy of the first show cause, I'm happy to provide a copy to you.
So how did you arrive at a second show cause?
Because you didn't show up. The second show cause is for failing to show.
But I wasn't on bond. So both show causes are not in effect because I'm not on bond.
Your Honor, what is the date of the first show cause?
December 20th.
No, the December.
Sorry, that was before the December 20th.
All right. You may view this document. This is out of the court file. You may view it and then.
So-
give it back.
JRegier, I have any other recourse to clarify where I was on that day and the information that I was going off of by your own investigator?
You do. You do. And
Okay.
that is a hearing date. Today, we're going to schedule a hearing date and you can present that evidence at that time.
And how will the hearing affect a trial by jury
As I told you, there is no right to trial by jury.
for
in
a contempt charge?
So I
Oh,
can
so
schedule
this is a perfect, nice little tidy package for everything. I see. Okay,
So I can schedule this for a contempt hearing on Thursday, January 11th at 2 p.m.
I think that would be way too soon for me. Thank you.
Why is that?
I need to get to some of the documentation and follow up with that, state trooper, as well as perhaps a few other people, because I'm guessing, am I supposed to just talk to the prosecutor without the other witnesses that I had in my presence at the same time?
I could schedule this for the afternoon of Thursday, January 25th, then it gives you 3 weeks.
Thank you.
So we'll schedule this for a contempt hearing on both allegations of contempt on Thursday, January 25th at 2 p.m. And do I understand correctly, you do not wish me to appoint an attorney that you want to represent yourself?
And then who makes the decision? You make the total decision then?
Well, no, first you make the decision whether you want to represent yourself. As long
No.
as I'm convinced that you're doing so of your own free
Okay.
choice, that you understand what's going on and that you're not going to be unduly disruptive, then you'll represent yourself.
So what am I allowed to do at the hearing to defend myself appropriately?
You're allowed to present legal arguments. You're allowed to present witnesses to testify under oath,
Okay.
yourself or any other witnesses that you bring with you. If you want to subpoena a witness, if you're representing yourself, you can't issue a subpoena without the court's signature. An attorney can issue a subpoena on their own.
So
If
I
you want
can't
to
subpoena
subpoena
them.
somebody, what you would do is you'd go to the court clerk, they give you the paperwork, you'd fill out the subpoena. They would give it to me to review. And if it looks like it's reasonably, connected or relevant to the case, I would sign the subpoena. And it would be given back to you for you to serve upon the person to compel their appearance.
I did not even get to watch the video that day because I was still on the phone with the trooper. And then people told me after I went up for Christmas that there was maybe a bench warrant, that you had issued a bench warrant. But everybody looked for it online at VineLink and couldn't find any bench warrant. So I was not trying to. I thought that trooper had told you what she told me, that I wasn't on bond, so I couldn't have a show cause.
Okay, well, that's all going to be sorted out at the hearing. Okay, we don't have to sort all that out today.
Well, that's a
It'll be-
lot of overnight in being arrested downtown and everything for a misunderstanding that I would like to,
Mr. Richmond, I mean,
okay,
you're
I
not-
get it,
You're not.
Judge
fooling-
Gothier, I know what happened,
You're
but
not fooling me. I've got the show cause that you apparently cut up into little strips and wrote.
yeah, but I brought it at 9 o'clock because do you know that that's actually a common law practice? And there are courts that recognize common law because sovereign people and people who take an oath of office can follow common law.
All right, so the
Not
contempt
the
hearing
codes
on
and
both
statutes.
matters is scheduled for Thursday, January 25th at 2 p.m. I find that Ms. Richmond is unequivocally exercising her right to represent herself, that she understands the nature of the charges against her, the maximum penalty and the rights that she has. I find that although she certainly disagrees with the court procedures and processes, which is her right, that she's not being unduly disruptive to the court's business. So the court's going to recognize Ms. Bridgman's right to represent herself at that hearing.
Can I ask one question? What are the parameters that you're going to decide is practicing law versus helping somebody maintain their unalienable rights? How would I delineate that in defense of myself?
Well, that's a question of, excuse me, that's a question of law that you can research before that day. And I said, I'll entertain legal arguments. The prosecutor will have to prove beyond a reasonable doubt at that hearing that you did in fact practice law on that day. That's where then there's a risk to representing yourself, because an attorney, has access to and better training and researching the case law, interpreting what that is. The Michigan Supreme Court has issued some opinions about what that is. If you're representing yourself, you're going to have to find those on your own and make the argument as you see fit. If you want to hire an attorney, or if you want an appointed attorney, they would be able to fashion those arguments on your behalf. But I'm not gonna.
No, I've been
Tell
down
me
that
what
path
those
before, and it never turns out the way they first present themselves to you, that they're gonna fight the case. It never turns out that way. So I'm fully cognizant and aware of that, but I wanted to see what your standard was going to be.
It's going to be what the law requires.
But I'm not sure which law you're referring to. So I have to research all the laws to determine what this says that is different than the first show cause.
Yet, Ms. Bridgman, if you want to represent yourself, it's a little bit more work. You're gonna have to-
I'm not saying it's not more work. It's also not presented in a way that tells me what I'm really being charged with. Or that anybody has any proof of what they said here. So that's what okay.
All right, well, that's what we'll.
All right,
sort out those
thank
legal
you.
Arguments, and the prosecutor will present witnesses at that hearing, and you can present witnesses. As I said, if you desire the court's help in compelling the appearance of any witness on your behalf,
Okay.
submit a subpoena to the clerk's office that I
Right.
would review. It'd be the district court office
Okay.
that I would review, and I would issue the subpoena. If it's-
So one of the key laws would be that in the state of Michigan, anybody practicing law should have, be a member of the Bar Association. Am I correct?
That is correct.
Now,
Ma'am, you have to figure that out at another time, okay? Now's not time to litigate this case.
Yeah, so I have a range
I
of
get it,
charges to
but
set-
I
Right.
appreciate that this is very big in scope, and Michigan statutes and codes, as he says, he's compelled to follow or must obey the dictates. Okay, I'm very well versed in enough constitutional things, so I have to know what the perception is there. So, thank you, I appreciate
And Ms.
any
Bridgman,
clarification.
I do have to follow what the, any decisions of the Michigan Supreme Court are binding law on the lower courts. There are constitutional system in Michigan. Also, any statutes that were passed by the legislature and signed by the governor are laws that this court and all citizens of the state of Michigan have to follow.
So the procedure that was followed here, I could still take up in another manner, correct?
I'm not sure what you mean by another manner. At the hearing, you can challenge the procedure of it.
I was talking to your investigator. She knew what time I had a court date.
Yes, absolutely. If you want to present that person to come testify about that.
She's not gonna come testify, I'm sure. She's downstate. She might write something.
Well, that's up to you, what you want to present. If you're going to
Okay.
represent yourself, you have to decide how you want to present your case. But I'm giving you the extra time you've asked for.
So this is a major judicial review. Okay, to decide if anything in our Bill of Rights actually applies to the Michigan code and statutes.
You have all the rights in the Bill of Rights. I recognize all those constitutional rights. Of course.
And most of what I talk about actually falls under common law because it's common that anyone could understand it.
All right.
That's
Ms.
why it's
Bridgman,
called common.
you set the hearing date.
Okay.
We'll arraign you on the charges. I'm going to recognize that you are exercising your right to represent yourself and discharge Mr. Villanueva from any further responsibility in the matter. The only other question I have to decide is whether you should be released on your own recognizance, or whether you should be required to post a bond before the next hearing. So I'm going to hear first from the prosecutor and then from you on that question. Ms. Miller?
Your Honor, I would object to a PR bond in this case first because of the her failure to appear on December 20th. She had notice of that hearing date as she dropped off the show cause to the court that had the date on it. Further, an underlying case that this was initially filed, she encouraged someone to not appear for their court date or to leave the court before they were arraigned. So I do have a concern about her appearance at the next trial, the next date.
All right, Ms. Bridgman, anything you want to tell me with regard to whether I should allow you to be released on your own recognizance before that hearing, or whether
I showed up at 9 a.m., Your Honor, and anybody could call me if they didn't understand that. I filed a similar document in Mackinac County and they accepted it. Common law is a very acceptable kind of a standard if you know it and you know what you're doing. So maybe there'll be a chance that I can present some of these other avenues, because how does my country tell me to take an oath of office to defend the Constitution, but then I'm held to only codes and statutes of the Michigan legislative body, governor, and perhaps Supreme Court? That's the overarching question here, I think. And I think a lot of people
well, I can
struggle with
recommend a
that.
Schoolhouse Rock video to you about how a bill becomes law and the laws.
Oh, I know how it happens.
Your Honor.
I also know we don't have a lot of
Your Honor.
judicial review.
So,
Your Honor,
as
part of
a
the-
question, any input, Mr. Gilman?
Yes, I guess I know you just released me as the attorney of record, but I guess in support of the bond on her behalf.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, so I like to advise the court that Ms. Bridgman is a resident of the city of Sheboygan. She advised that she's a former social studies teacher. She's presently collecting disability. So she informs me, I'm unaware of the status of if she has an automobile or anything. I'm not aware of any known criminal history.
She's collecting disability. I am willing to wager that she has no physical disabilities. I'm going to put my money on another type.
History for Ms. Bridgman, and she reports that she has no drug or alcohol issues. Granted, there's this allegation of not appearing at a previous
You
hearing,
sure?
and she was picked up, I believe, within the Sheboygan County for that. And so I advise that Your Honor. Oh, and one last thing, she's a politically active member in the community. She has audited an election previously, so I believe
Obviously.
she's more or less, I guess, committed to this area. This
Committed is a very good word for her, as she should be committed. And I don't want her auditing my political anything, because her views and my views really don't align. I'm going to stick with committed for her.
local municipality. It seems unlikely that she would go anywhere, and how she would do that. And so, Your Honor, I would ask that you set reasonable bond for her release.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Well, I don't believe that Ms. Bridgman poses any danger to public safety. I don't think she's a flight risk per se of fleeing from the jurisdiction. However, I do believe that she's a heightened risk of just flat out refusing to appear, as evidenced by the fact that she cut up the previous show cause into little strips and wrote that she wasn't accepting an offer.
Well, they
It
didn't,
wasn't an offer, it was an order
sorry,
to appear.
They didn't
And you can't
actually
have
hand it
people
to me.
just refuse to appear on orders to appear by saying, sorry, I don't want to. So I don't think that release on her own recognizance would be sufficient
Scary.
to secure her appearance. So I'm going to set bond in the contempt matter at $10,000 cash or surety to the full amount. There'll be no special conditions attached to it, however, just the standard conditions, Ms. Bridgman, that you have to make sure that we know if you change your, we have to know your address, contact information. You can't violate any laws in the state of Michigan or any political subdivision thereof, and you must appear for all court appearances.
so the whole bond thing keeps me under your jurisdiction. which I wouldn't have come into your court the same way today, except that you put me in jail, so I was forced to.
That's the bond that I set. So
This is the struggle between keeping my oath to defend the Constitution and adhering.
I've taken a similar oath, and I believe I'm going to do it today, Mr. Richmond. So we'll see you on the 25th.
We will look at the case law.
That's what it is. All right, we'll adjourn.
That's right.
I know. She's only up here from North Carolina. Work with all you guys, it's true crime television.
Yeah, I enhanced when she came in, and I enhanced when she went out. And I just, yeah, I knew that hearing had to come from another hearing. So I had to go find it, and I'm so glad that I did. And I just, I did try to go down the rabbit hole of Seth Flores. I found a Seth Flores in Macomb County, Michigan, but it was not the same Seth Flores. Very disturbing person with very disturbing charges, but not the same guy. So there's something with the name, I guess. Oh my gosh, Palmyra Productions, thank you so much. Thank you. That makes me so happy. Like, that's one of the ways to make me the happiest, because you're not only supporting me, but you're making my chat happy. Everybody who has bought gifted memberships over the past couple days since I finally got monetized. You guys, seriously, that warms my heart. Because like I said, you're not just helping me out. You're also giving something to the chat. And seriously, I've got the best chat in the whole world. I firmly believe that. Seriously. Yes, turn your settings on to accept gifts. For sure. Mm-hmm. Because sometimes they get raining in here. Like, I've had nights where there were more gift memberships purchased than there were people watching. And so then they went to people who weren't even on. And when they logged on, they suddenly saw they had a gifted membership. And they're good for 1 month. And then at 1 month, YouTube's going to remind you. They're going to say, hey, do you want to continue this? And I really hope that you say yes. They're 99 cents a month. And they support me. And they help this channel to grow. And I really hope that you enjoy being here. And I certainly enjoy having you. Hi, Lori Cannon, honey. I did wave at you earlier. I don't know if you saw me, but I'm happy you made it tonight. Oh, thank you, Gus. I love hearing that. Thank you so much. It was never intended to be this way, but I wouldn't have it any other way. This was serendipitous. It was a complete accident. I only came on because I saw a couple of people were watching my videos from Australia and England. And I thought, God, it would be really nice for them to have a streamer that they could watch during their daytime. And then I was hooked. Not just on streaming, but on the love and support of the late night community. I mean, we're all here because we can't sleep, because a lot of us, for medical issues, pain issues, and whatnot, sometimes we just get up to pee and can't go back to sleep. And This gives us a place to be together. And I have a dog kicking the back of my chair. Thank you, Elodie. Thank you so much. Mine too. So I'm not sure because I obviously can't practice this, but I know you go into the chat settings, okay, and there's a spot to turn on gifted memberships, but someone told me that if you click on like where it says Elodie gifted 10 memberships, if you click on that in the chat, someone told me that allows you to turn it on. Somebody who needs to turn it on, please tell me if that's accurate. Yeah, and that's the thing is on different platforms, I don't know if it's the same. Like, I have never owned an iPhone. I've never owned an anything. So I don't know where to even begin on that. Android, I could probably fumble it out. On a computer, it's super easy. But you have to do it while the chat is going, though. Yes. It's so appreciated. It really is. There we go. There's the answer. Hit join and the 3 lines at the top, hit that, and then gift settings and click that on. Now, is that for iPhone? All right. Earl. See, Earl's not gonna come hang out with me because his favorite toy from Checks and Cherries is on right now in the living room. And he's all kinds of engaged with that. But I'm sure he will be here to visit a little bit later. I'll grab his toy when I grab Ava's Treats. Hi, Ava. I have a cold nose on my leg now. Come on, baby girl. Yes. Hold on, I gotta... There we go. Who, me? How so? I've got the best doggy. Hi, Kay Alberg. Thanks for coming, honey. That's all right. You can start from where you were at, and then later on, go back and watch the beginning. Yes. I can't wait to show you her new trick. Okay, give me 30 seconds, all right? Give me 30 seconds. I'll be right back. Oh, my goodness. Okay, hold on. Before I go, look at who appeared. Ava, is that you? Are you tooting? Are you tooting in my room? Why would you do such a thing? Oh, well, that one's my chair. That's my chair on the vent. Okay. All right. I know. Move it, fat butt. How can I get at your treat if you're sitting in front of it? Yes, Earl, I will get your toy too. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Okay. All right. I'm coming. All right. Hopefully my chair doesn't squawk like that anymore because that's kind of, it's just the register vent. Okay. All right. We got to show everybody what you do now. You still got dance down, but come here. Come here. Hold on a second. Okay. Come here. No. Oh my goodness, dog. Here. Speak. Speak. Louder. Speak. Speak. No. You did it so well earlier. Speak. Earl spoke. Speak. Well, that was a little bit. That was a little whisper of a speak. I want a big Ava speak. Ava, speak. Speak. There we go. Good girl. Good girl. Speak. Good girl. That's a good girl. Come on up, baby. All right. Ava, dance. Come on. Oh. Okay, this is not the shirt to wear with Ava around. Her nails keep getting into it. Dance. Oh, that's speak. Dance. Dance. Get up and dance. Dance. You know this one. Don't even play. Dance. Come on. Dance. Is the keyboard in the way? There, I closed it. No. Let's. Oh my God. Okay, before we do that anymore, I have to change my shirt because her nails keep getting caught into it, and I'm going to end up shirtless if she keeps that up. Okay, I hope you all enjoyed your Ava time. And just for a moment, we'll give you a little bit of your kitty time. Isn't that right? Isn't that right, Earl? Such a cute thing. Show them all your T-Rex pose. What is squeaking? Oh, my TV tray that I had there for Billy O.T. That's what's squeaking. That's what's driving me crazy. Earl. Oh. Good catch. Good catch, you mighty hunter. Can you get it? Can you get the fishy? Get the fishy. This is not his favorite. His favorite is the dancing worm toy. As far as the wands go. All right, Earl. I've got to get back to the internet. I got to get back to YouTube. You are such a cutie. There. As Brian Boggs would say, cat tax paid, dog tax paid. Oh. It still burns. She's got talons. She really does. Like, and it's like bright maroon red. Oh, it's sore, but I'll live. All right, guys. I'm going to put another clip on. You know, we're not doing that. We are not going to go there. Yep. April does not. Nope. With a committed partner, maybe. Not with the internet. Right? I will will not do that because I can't afford to pay y'all's therapy bills. Oh, there we go. I guess it worked. Thank you. Why? Oh, hi, Earl. Hi, baby boy. You're like literally on the back of my chair. My thoughts exactly, Earl. Oh, gee whiz. That's probably because you're already a member, Emily. You're already a member, so of course it's not going to work for you. Somebody who's not a member has to do it. Yeah, I love his meow. He's got such a cute meow. And he and I talk. It's so funny. Like, we literally will sit there and chat back and forth. Meow. And then he goes and I go, and he goes and I go. And then, the men in white coats show up to take me away. Hee hee ha ha. Oh, hi, sweetie pie. I love you. I'm so happy you are here. Ooh, more tricks, more tips and tricks from Paul Myra Productions. There is a cat knocking everything over on my desk. Hi. And now time for cat butt. Because it's that kind of show. Sorry, y'all. Tammy, thank you. Oh my God, I love you. Thank you so much. Hi, Earl. Hey, cat butt. Hey, cat butt. What you doing? What you doing? Oh, you're trying to get the toy. You're trying to get the toy. What are you doing, Ava? What are you trying to get? My goodness. You guys are like a full-time job in itself. You're so precious. He's a cord chewer. He likes, if this were his worm wand, like the elastic cord, he chews on that. He doesn't care about what's on the end. He wants the cord. Goofy thing. All right, I'm going to have to put this back in the drawer to keep you from eating it. Yeah, you like that? That's you. That's you, Earl. You're on the screen. You're a star. You're so beautiful. You are so pretty. What? For all of those who came here to watch court vids, I'm sorry. But I'm not sorry. Okay, here. Oh my goodness. Okay. He really is. He's so beautiful. Billy is too. Billy's got like the absolute perfect, like the white that goes from the corners of his mouth down and then down to his chest. And he's got a bib. That's what they call it, a bib. Oh my goodness. Well, now that you've got them on, I hope. And you have to do that for each chat that you participate in. That I think you have to set it up for each chat. At least you used to have to, but YouTube changes rules every couple days. So it's hard to keep up with what the heck's going on. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. This is a two-hander cat. We love you, Salty Buddha. You're one of my faves, buddy. Okay, Earl, honey. Earl, hey. Can I? Sorry, guys. All right. I love you
The
guys.
next case out of the jail is State of Kansas versus Jesse Taylor Greenwell, 24 CR1. Good afternoon, Mr. Greenwell.
Good afternoon.
Mr. Greenwell, you're charged by way of information on or about December 31, 2023 in Butler County, Kansas with possession of methamphetamine, a level 5 drug felony. You're charged in count 2, same date and location, possession of marijuana after a prior conviction, a class A non-person misdemeanor.
Drugs?
Count 3, you're charged, same date and location, driving while license is suspended or canceled, a class A non-person misdemeanor. Count 4, same date and location, possession of paraphernalia for use, class B non-person misdemeanor, which the paraphernalia was plastic baggie, and 3 plastic tubes. Count 5, same date and location, expired tag or registration, and that is an unclassified non-person misdemeanor. And Mr. Greenwell, do you understand the charges pending against you?
Yes, sir, I do.
Mr. Greenwell, you do have the right to counsel. If you could not afford an attorney, one would be appointed to represent you. Mr. Greenwell, are you currently employed?
No, but I have money. I mean,
How
I work side jobs. I do drywall.
How much money do you have set aside?
Thousands of dollars. I can't remember.
You have thousands of dollars set aside,
Yeah.
and so are you able to hire an attorney to represent you?
No, not at this time. I'm not.
Why, if you have thousands of dollars set aside, why could you not hire an attorney?
Because I don't have a way of getting to it.
What is this, cash money?
I don't know.
You don't know?
I
But
don't
you
know
have-
until I get out. I don't know.
Until you get out of where?
Of jail. I don't know.
Okay, you said that you had thousands of dollars set aside.
I have some money. I have some money set aside. Is what I mean. I'm not broke. Is what I'm saying.
Well, when you say you're not broke, how much money do you have set aside?
I
that
don't
you
know
saved?
until I get out. I don't have the money. My relatives have the money.
Okay, and the money is with your relatives, and to the best of your knowledge, it's in the thousands of dollars. Is that correct? To the
Yes,
best of
sir.
your knowledge. Okay.
Yes.
Well, based on that information, the court finds that you do have financial wherewithal to hire an attorney. So the court does not appoint counsel to represent you at this time.
Can you appoint?
Subsequently, you
Can
may
you appoint
retain
me
your-
an attorney? I don't have money to pay for an attorney right now.
Well, you just said that you do, that you have money set aside to your relatives, and that's what the court understands is your situation.
Well, I don't have no way of getting to the money. I'm not gonna be able to get to that money. My relatives might have money, but I don't have no money.
Okay,
Cancel.
you're not, I need for you to not be contradictory in regards to whether you have money set aside or not. Do you have money set aside that could be used to retain an attorney?
No, I don't.
Okay, what's this money and approximately how much is it that you have with your family, your relatives?
I don't know. This is just something that I was told.
Okay, what do you mean you were told?
I mean, I was told that I have some money coming. That's all I know.
You have some money coming, so this is not money that you gave to a relative?
No.
Okay, well, that's a different situation what I previously understood. Subsequently, at this point in time, based with what you've said, you do not have money set aside with a relative. A relative may be willing to help assist you, but you do not have money available. Is that correct or not?
I don't know. I might.
Very well. The court finds, once again, you may retain whomever you wish to represent you. In the case, the court finds that, at least at this point in time, you've indicated you have the financial wherewithal to retain an attorney.
No, I
Subsequently, the
don't.
court sets your next appearance date. This would be on the
Would you
felony
tell him I
preliminary
need an
hearing
attorney?
control docket. The felony preliminary hearing control docket on Monday, January 29, 2024 at 2:30. Monday, January 29, 2024 at 2:30 before Chief Judge Rickey. Monday, January 29, 2024 at 2:30 before Chief Judge Rickey. You do need to be present by Zoom
Is there a
hearing
bond? Did I
at
get a
that
bond?
time. The next item of business is to set appropriate bond in regards to yourself, Mr. Greenwell. Mr. Greenwell, what is your current address, where you live, and is that in Augusta, Kansas?
Yes.
How long have you lived there?
For like a year?
And do you have any relatives that reside in Butler County, Kansas?
Yes.
Who would that be in relationship to you?
I have a brother, some brothers, aunts, uncles, cousins.
What are your brothers' names?
Man, why are you asking me so many questions?
I need to set a reasonable and appropriate bond for you. I need to establish the contacts that you have with the community meaning Butler County, Kansas.
I have Jake. I have Jake Billheimer, Joe Billheimer, Josh Billheimer.
How do you spell the last name?
John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt.
Billhimer.
Billheimer with a B as in boy. And these are all half brothers, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And
They don't
who
like
else live in Butler County, Kansas?
That's it.
Okay. What is their address?
I don't know.
And who do you reside with, if anyone, at Augusta, Butler County, Kansas?
Lucas Johnson.
And is he a roommate or a relative?
He's like both.
Okay. Is he a cousin of yours? Is he another half brother?
Kind of like another half brother.
Like another half brother. Okay.
Philip.
Thank you, Mr. Greenwell. A recommendation for bond, Mr. Regier.
Your Honor, as I understand it, this is a defendant with some quite significant history. Perhaps most relevant, misdemeanor possession of a hallucinogenic, misdemeanor possession of paraphernalia, at least one misdemeanor driving while suspended conviction, disorderly conduct, at least two of them, misdemeanor interference with law enforcement, as well as 3 prior felony convictions, including 1 aggravated conviction. This is also a defendant who I understand has a quite significant history of failing to appear 34 times, most recently in October of 2023. Accordingly, besides all standard conditions, including no contact with illegal drugs and GPS monitoring, the state is recommending a bond of $50,000.
Thank you, Mr. Regier. Based on the information that is presented to the court, I do believe the conditions of bond as recommended by the state are appropriate and the court adopts the same. The court adopts,
$50,000, that's $5,000. There ain't no way I'm gonna be able to get out with $5,000.
just a moment, Mr. Greenwell, you need to be quiet until I finish with going over the order of the court. The court does adopt the GPS monitoring and all other conditions of the bond that have been, and Mr. Greenwell, can you take your hair and pull it back so I can see? Yes, so I can see you. Thank you.
Barely,
So the
but
court adopts
kinda.
all the conditions of the bond. In regards to the amount of the bond, it appears to me that you have established with the court, you have local residents, you do have contact with the community, and I do believe that there is necessary a cash or surety bond. Mr. Regier, once again, did you say that there are failures to appear of 34 times, or did I misunderstand?
That is my understanding, Your Honor, most recently in October of last year.
Okay, based on the statements to the court, Mr. Greenwell, of you failing to appear 34 times, which appears to be an excessive amount, and Mr. Regier has advised the court as an officer of the court does adopt the recommended $50,000 cash or surety, $50,000 cash or surety bond. I think that that will be sufficient to have a bail bondsman make sure that you're appearing before the court as ordered by the court. Once again, your next appearance date is before Chief Judge Rickey. That would be on the felony preliminary hearing control docket Monday, January 29, 2024 at 2:30. There being nothing further to come before the court is in recess. Mr. Greenwell, have a good day.
Is there any way you can talk to somebody about that?
Next individual before the court is Jack O'Brien Nelson III. No case number at this time, Mr. Nelson. There have been no charges filed against you. And Mr. Regier, is the state in need of any information such as address, telephone number, and email for Mr. Nelson?
One moment, Your Honor.
Yes, you on.
Your Honor, my understanding is that, as the court has previously referred to, this is not a case where an information has been filed yet.
Okay, Mr. Nelson, what is your current address? Do you use a telephone number? And do you use an email?
No, sir.
Any further information requested by the state?
Not at this time, Your Honor. Again, my understanding is that this is a case where an information has not yet been filed.
Mr. Nelson, as Mr. Regier has advised, there has not been an information filed against you in the case. Unless there are holds by other jurisdictions, or unless there are warrants within this particular jurisdiction, immediately after this hearing, you'll be provided your civilian clothing. You'll be free to go. In the event you receive a summons to appear in the future, you do need to abide by that summons and appear date and time that summons request. Do you have any question about that?
No, sir.
Mr. Nelson, there being nothing further to come before the court is in recess and you're free to go. Have a good day.
Thanks, Your Honor.
Next case, State of Kansas versus Evan R. Is a Urban case number 24CR3. Good afternoon, Mr. Urban.
Good afternoon.
Mr. Urban, you're charged by way of information on or about January 1, 2024 in Butler County, Kansas, with defacing identification marks of a firearm, 11 level 10, non-person felony, count 1, same date and location, possession of marijuana, class B, non-person misdemeanor, count 3, same date and location, possession of paraphernalia for use, class B, non-person misdemeanor, And Mr. Urban, do you understand the charges pending against you?
Yes, sir.
You do have the right to counsel if you cannot afford an attorney. Court makes inquiry. Are you currently employed?
No,
How long has it been since you worked?
a year or two.
And do you have any money put back in savings to hire an attorney? That's a no.
Yeah, it's no.
Mr. Urban, the court finds that you do not have the financial wherewithal to retain an attorney, and the court appoints Jim Watts to represent you at all stages of the proceedings. Jim Watts is appointed to represent you at all stages of the proceedings. Court sets your next appearance date next before myself. This would be on the felony preliminary hearing control docket, Monday, April 1, 2024 at 2:30. Monday, April 1, 2024 at 2:30 before myself. You do need to be present by Zoom at time, similar to the proceeding here today. Once again, that is Monday, April 1, 2024 at 2:30.
April Fool's Day. Go figure. If y'all listen, periodically in between the cases, like when they leave the door open or when they let a defendant out of the room, you will hear the first guy hollering still. Like he just let out a something or other a minute ago. But yeah, just keep an ear open and you'll hear him. He's you know, like the little elf that shows up at night to, you know, put a crack rock in your shoe.
Next item of business is to set appropriate bond. What is your current address, Mr. Urban? How long have you lived there?
5-6 months.
Who do you live with, if anyone?
A friend,
What is the friend's name?
Brody Kelly, but I live with his grandparents.
What are the grandparents' names?
Deborah Kelly and I forgot the grandpa's name.
Okay.
I know it. I can't think of it right now.
Okay. And do you have any family that reside in Butler County, Kansas?
Yes,
Who would that be and where do they reside?
my mom. Her name is
Okay.
Amber Cheryl,
Okay.
and that's the only one I have.
Okay. A recommendation for bond, Mr. Regier?
Your Honor, as I understand it, this is a case where pursuant to the affidavit, the defendant was found in a vehicle on New Year's Day early in the morning before 6 a.m. with a juvenile. And I also understand this is a case involving a loaded 9mm handgun, a jar containing THC, and multiple THC devices throughout the vehicle. With all that being said, if the court is prepared to order all standard conditions, including no contact with any witnesses, as well as no firearms and no illegal drugs, the state is prepared to proceed with a $2,000 cash or surety bond. As I understand it, this is a defendant with little to no prior conviction history.
Thank you, Mr. Regier. The court does adopt all standard conditions of bond, and the court adopts the recommended conditions as set forth on the record by the state herein. It does appear to me that a cash or surety bond is appropriate to ensure your next appearance before the court, and the court does order a $2,000 cash or surety bond. $2,000 cash or surety bond. So your next appearance would be back before myself by Zoom hearing Monday, April 1, 2024 at 2:30. Do you have any questions, Mr. Urban?
No, sir.
There being nothing further to come before the court, court is in recess, and have a good day.
You too.
And cases entitled State of Kansas versus Deton Bryce Whiteside, 23 CR 129, 23 CR 169, 21 CR 493. And good afternoon, Mr. Whiteside. You are back before the court where there have been bench warrant and bond forfeiture filed in 23 CR 129 for not appearing on November 27, 2023. And that was before Judge Webster, and she has ordered a no bond hold. Subsequently, on 23 CR 169, there has once again been a no bond, there is a cash or surety bond that Judge Webster has ordered, and that is for $2,000. And that was for failure to appear on October 30 of 2023. And in 21 CR 493, there is a cash or surety bond ordered by Chief Judge Rickey, $5,000 cash or surety, $5,000 cash or surety bond by Chief Judge Rickey. And that was for failure to appear back on 9/15/2023. Apparently, you were picked up and there were potential charges of interference with law enforcement officer and drug paraphernalia. However, the county attorney's office has not filed charges against you at this time. Subsequently, with the first two cases, 23 CR 129, 23 CR 169, both are misdemeanor cases, and that is set next before Judge Lee, and that would be set for Friday, January 19, 2024 at 1:30. Friday, January 19, 2024 at 1:30 before Judge Lee. You do need to be present by Zoom hearing at that time. And the case before Chief Judge Rickey is set back. That is set back. Well, I'm going to set it back on the preliminary hearing control docket before Chief Judge Rickey, and that would be on Monday, January 29, 2024 at 2:30. Monday, January 29, 2024 at 2:30 before Chief Judge Rickey.
Your Honor,
Yes.
forgive my interjection, but in 21 CR 493, I am showing a request for revocation of probation. It looks like that was filed with the court back in August of last year.
And the court stands corrected. Thank you, Mr. Regier, for correcting me. And that is not a matter that's on apparently the pretrial conference plea docket or the preliminary hearing control docket. That would rather be set because there has been a warrant to show cause filed, Mr. Whiteside, in 21 CR 493, whereby it is alleged you're in violation of the terms and conditions of your probation. So that gets set back before Chief Judge Rickey on Friday, February 2nd, 2024 at 2:30. Friday.
Your Honor,
yes.
is there any possible way I could have a sooner court date? Last time I was in here, I spent 6 months in jail for possession of stolen property, and I ended up having to take a plea bargain for something I wasn't even guilty of just to get out of here. I've lost my job last time. I know you guys don't really have much care for it, but it's wasting a lot of my time and my life into this jail for misdemeanor charges.
Yeah,
I'm supposed to move to Missouri, but I wasn't. Phyllis Webster wouldn't let me change transfer my probation. I don't know why she wouldn't let me, because my whole family's in Missouri now. I have no one here. Stuck here. I sold my house whenever I got out of jail last time just to leave, and I haven't been able to leave.
Mr. Whiteside, the court is aware and concerned because you do have a no bond hold set by Judge Webster. The court has set your case on the 2 misdemeanor charges on the expedited. It is an expedited misdemeanor control docket. Otherwise, it would have been set for March 18. The court has set this for the earliest available date on the expedited misdemeanor control docket January 19, 2024 at 1:30.
Okay, thank you.
Now, in regards to the felony, that goes back before Judge Rickey, and that is set on a separate date. And his first available date on the warrant to show cause docket is Friday, February 2nd, 2024 at 2:30.
What felony?
Pardon me?
I don't have any charges of felony.
In 21 CR 493, you do. That's a case you've already been sentenced on. That is,
Oh, okay.
you've already
Right.
been sentenced on. Okay, so these are all the first available dates available, and the court thanks Mr. Regier for correcting a date that I would have been giving incorrectly. Now, there may be one additional charge, another case filed against you. There are potential charges at this time. In regards to your respective cases, all court-appointed counsel that have previously been ordered remain in force and effect. I believe Jim Watts is appointed in the felony case. Darren Patterson is appointed in the misdemeanor cases.
Your Honor,
Mr. Regier.
for the court's edification, I am showing that at least in the 169 and the 129 case, Mr. Patterson had been previously appointed, looks like back in September on the 129 case and back in July on the 169 case. However, in the 21 CR 493 case, I am showing that Mr. Watts had previously appeared at a hearing back in August of 2022, but the warrant to show cause currently for the court, there was concerning that there was a first appearance back in September where the defendant failed to appear. So I'm not sure what the court wants to do with that or not.
On the warrant to show cause docket with Chief Judge Rickey, the court does order Jim Watts to be court-appointed counsel. Court retains Darren Patterson to be court-appointed counsel in the two misdemeanor cases.
So I thought I was under the impression that the felony case had been resolved and it was brought down to a non-person misdemeanor. And that was already done. I thought that court was over with. Because I spent almost 6 months in county, and on August 20th, I think it was, whenever I finally got out, and it was resolved when I was put on probation. And on possession of
Thank you, Mr. Whiteside. You have a fairly complex and complicated background to you here. Apparently, on August 25th, 2022, you entered a plea, and it was a misdemeanor plea. So that case still remains with Chief Judge Rickey on the date and time set forth. However, I believe the attorney that has the contract to represent you on misdemeanor warrant to show cause matters is Darren Patterson. So instead of Jim Watts remaining court-appointed counsel, it would appear to me that Darren Patterson, because it is a misdemeanor at this point, is your court-appointed counsel. So Mr. Patterson is appointed on all three cases, and the case on the warrant to show cause issue remains with Chief Judge Rickey as he has signed the warrant order.
So all the time I spent in jail and over that the felony case, it's not been resolved yet.
That I show from review of the notes on August 25th, 2022, you entered a plea. It was a misdemeanor plea. It was a no contest plea that the court accepted and subsequently found you guilty.
I bet JRegier made the cutest hall monitor in school.
The court understands your sentence at that time for theft as a misdemeanor, 12 months county jail, no fine, and 12 months court services probation.
I'll take that
$500 restitution docket fees, supervision fees, $100 bids, and $200 legal fees. Remainder was waived. Starting September 2022, $100 minimum payment, no contact with the victim and property, no contact with Isaac Mendenhall. I don't know what the initials JTC are referring to reflect on the journal entry. So that's your status at this point.
So, so I'm under the impression that I'm still going to court over that charge.
That is correct. Yes.
Then what was resolved on the 25th? If I took a plea, then that should have been,
Well, you were on probation.
okay, all right.
And it's alleged that you're in violation of the terms and conditions of your probation. And do you wish me to go through and read those? I'd be happy to do so.
I was just under the impression, because I've been trying to get moved with my family over in Missouri, and I've been running into wall after wall after wall.
Well, it's been alleged that you failed to refrain from violating the law, failed to abstain from use or possession of alcohol and or illicit drugs. You failed to report as directed, failed to notify your court service officer of changes, whereabouts, law enforcement contact, and failed to pay as directed with a balance of $708 remaining.
I thought it said a minimum of 100, but okay. I've had a lot going on in my life. I'm sorry.
Okay.
After spending 6 months in jail, I came back out without a job. You know, I ended up putting my house up for sale. Everything has just been in chaos. I mean, I could barely survive with how much I make, let alone pay into the court.
Surely, I'm not disputing that a bit. Okay, and do you have any other questions? Because
No, sir.
you do have a fairly complex past here. Anything further?
No.
Okay, and Mr. Regier?
Forgive me, Your Honor, I appear to have been previously muted.
Anything further, Mr. Regier?
Your Honor, is the court maintaining the bonds previously ordered in the 493, the 169 and the 129 cases?
Yes, the court retains in force effect the bonds and conditions thereto as ordered by Judge Webster. That case, those two cases will appear on the expedited misdemeanor control docket before Judge Lee on Friday, January 19, 2024 at 1:30. The bond is ordered by Chief Judge Rickey remains in force and effect in regards to the case that goes on the warrant show cause docket before Chief Judge Rickey Friday, February 2nd, 2024 at 2:30. And once again, the court does order the bond set by Chief Judge Rickey to remain in force and effect. And the court does change the court appointed counsel from Mr. Watts to Mr. Patterson in case number 21 CR 493. So Mr. Patterson is appointed in all three cases.
What a concept, PE.
And I don't have and I'm unable to bond, right?
Judge Webster has ordered a no bond hold. That is a matter that would have to go back before Judge Webster to have modified.
Okay.
Okay, anything further?
No, Your
From
Honor.
you, Your Honor.
Okay, there being nothing further to come before the court is in recess. Mr. Whiteside, have a good day.
You too.
Case is entitled State of Kansas versus Adrian Alexander Manny, 24 CR 4. Good afternoon, Mr. Manny.
Yeah.
Mr. Manny, you're charged by way of information in count 1 on or about January 1, 2024 in Butler County, Kansas, with possession of fentanyl, a level 5 drug felony. Count 2, you're charged, same date and location, possession of marijuana, Class B non-person misdemeanor. Count 3, same date and location, possession of paraphernalia for use, Class B non-person misdemeanor. Those are the charges pending against you. Do you understand the charges?
I want some paraphernalia. The judge really struggled with that one.
Yes.
Mr. Manny, you do have the right to counsel. If you cannot afford an attorney, one would be appointed to represent you. Mr. Manny, are you currently employed?
Yes.
Where do you work?
UPS.
How long have you been employed at UPS?
Almost 3 years now.
And
No.
what is your approximate wage working for UPS?
I make 21 an hour.
Okay, based on compensation of $21 per hour, I find that you do have the financial wherewithal to retain an attorney. Court finds you do have the financial wherewithal to retain an attorney. Court sets your next date before myself. This would be on Monday, April 1, 2024 at 2:30. Monday, April 1, 2024 at 2:30 before myself on the felony preliminary hearing control docket.
Multiple
That's your
kinds.
next date. Next, I need to set appropriate bond for you. Where do you currently reside? What city?
Wichita, Kansas.
What is your zip code?
67206.
Thank you. Are you currently once again employed at United Parcel Service?
Yes.
You've been there for approximately 3 years, is that correct?
Yes.
Are you a full-time employee?
Part-time.
How many hours do you work a week typically?
Around 25, 30.
Based on part-time employment at $21 per hour, if you estimate that's at 25 hours per week, then I do find you qualify for court-appointed counsel. I was basing your ability to have financial wherewithal to retain an attorney off of full-time employment. Based on part-time employment, the court finds you do qualify for counsel, and the court does appoint Jim Watts to represent you at all stages of the proceedings. Jim Watts is appointed to represent you at all stages of the proceedings. So court has changed from retaining your own attorney to appointing counsel based on lack of financial wherewithal at this point. We know what is your current email address, Mr. Manning, at gmail.com?
Yes.
Do you currently use a phone number?
Yes.
What is your phone number? Very well. Your next date to appear by Zoom once again before myself is on the felony preliminary hearing control docket, Monday, April 1, 2024 at 2:30. Next, the court needs to set bond for you. Do you have any family, any relatives that reside in Butler County, Kansas?
Not Butler County, but Wichita, yeah.
So no one in Butler County, is that correct?
No one in Butler County now.
What family or relatives do you have in Sedgwick County, Kansas?
My mom, my dad.
What are your mother and father's names?
Adam Manny and Sheikah Richard.
Adam Manny and Sheikah Williams?
Richard. Sheikah Richard.
Sheikah Richard. Thank you. Sheikah Richard. What is their address?
My dad is 135 North Jackson Heights.
135 Jackson Heights, Wichita, Kansas. And
Yes,
your mother's address?
I don't know my mom's by heart at this moment.
And do you reside and live with your father?
Yes.
Okay. Recommendation for bond, Mr. Regier?
Your Honor, if the court is prepared to order scram monitoring, the state is prepared to proceed with a 2,000 cash or surety bond with all standard conditions, including no contact with illegal drugs. Pursuant to paragraph 6, 8, 10, and 11 of the affidavit, the defendant was identified as a passenger in the vehicle. It would appear that the defendant, pursuant to the same, admitted to having marijuana on him, and there was both a straw in the passenger door and 22 fentanyls on the passenger floorboards located.
Thank you, Mr. Regier. And Mr. Manny, it would appear to the court that a cash or surety bond is appropriate in your case. Subsequently, I do think that an appropriate amount is a $2,000 cash or surety bond. $2,000 cash or surety bond is hereby ordered by the court. So your next date, hearing date by Zoom has been set. Counsel's been appointed, Mr. Watts, and your bond has been set subject to all the conditions that have been requested by the state and any standard bond conditions, along with the requirement of a cash or surety of $2,000. And Mr. Manny, do you have any questions?
Not right now.
There being nothing further to come before the court is in recess, and have a good day.
Okay, those bond conditions, that was all standard conditions, scram and no alcohol or drugs, is that correct?
Yeah, Jared, is that correct?
I believe that was the state's request, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you, Jared.
Thank you. Case is entitled State of Kansas versus Jerry M. Banks, 23 TR 1508. Good afternoon, Mr. Banks. And Mr. Banks, you appear back before the court after apparently failing to appear on July 19, 2023. And bench warrant was issued, and subsequently, it would appear that you have not had a first appearance before the court. Is that your understanding, Mr. Banks?
Yes, sir. The one back in July, that one, I called the courthouse and they told me that there was no warrant or anything like that. I verified through the courthouse. They said I was all good. And then when I got pulled over this next time saying I had a warrant, I was under my impression that I was all cleared. Turns out that was false. So, yes, sir.
Okay. Well, Mr. Banks, you're charged by way of information on or about February 2nd, 2023 in Butler County, Kansas, with driving while license is suspended or canceled, Class B, non-person misdemeanor. You're charged in count 2, same date and location with expired tag or registration, and unclassified non-person misdemeanor.
With these charges, I was honestly waiting for this guy to challenge subject matter jurisdiction. I was waiting for it.
Count 3, you're charged same date and location, no proof of insurance, Class B, non-person misdemeanor. And Mr. Banks, do you understand the charges pending against you?
Yes, sir, I do.
And Mr. Banks, you do have the right to counsel. If you cannot afford an attorney, one would be appointed to represent you. Are you currently employed?
Yes, sir. I work at Spirit Aerospace. I was also in the process of getting licensed, my driver's license reinstated reinstated, and also getting insurance for that past vehicle so I could bring it to the courthouse and show everybody, but pretty slow process.
And where do you, what is your approximate level of compensation working for Spirit?
I'd say about $1,300 every 2 weeks.
Are you paid an hourly wage?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What is your hourly wage?
I couldn't tell you right off the top of my head, sir. It's about $20 an hour, maybe.
Approximately $20 an hour. Are you working full time?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you are working full time at Spirit Aerospace. Based on that, the court finds you have the substantial financial wherewithal to retain an attorney. So the court does not appoint counsel to represent you. The court does not appoint counsel to represent you. You may retain whomever you wish to represent you in these charges. Subsequently, the court sets your case next before Judge Webster on Monday, March 18, 2024 at 9 a.m. by Zoom. Monday, March 18, 2024 at 9 a.m. by Zoom before Judge Webster. You do need to be present by Zoom hearing at that time. Subsequently, the court finds that apparently on July 19, 2023, there is a failure to appear, and the notes I show, Mr. Regier, the bond was set for $2,500 OR bond. Is that correct or not, Mr. Regier?
Your Honor, I am showing that there was an appearance bond in the file for 2,500 OR for an appearance on December 13th at 9. It would appear that there was a second consecutive failure to appear based off my notes, and then the court did enter its orders in accordance with that.
And what was the order that Judge Webster entered at that time for failure to appear? And I believe that was a December date you quoted.
Yes, Your Honor, and I am showing a no bond hold. I might respectfully suggest this may be a matter to bring before the expedited docket for Judge Lee, but of course I'll defer to the court as to how it wishes to proceed on that matter.
All right, the court subsequently does recognize that the computer system has failed at the court, and subsequently I do not have before me the December date that Mr. Banks failed to appear. As an officer of the court does adopt the finding that Mr. Banks failed to appear in December. Subsequently, the court must change the date for appearance before the magistrate court on the misdemeanor charges. The court orders that this matter be set before Judge Lee. Judge Lee on the expedited misdemeanor control docket, January 19, 2024 at 1:30 before Judge Lee. Friday, January 19, 2024 at 1:30 on the expedited docket before Judge Lee. So Mr. Banks, that has taken your case off of that March 18, 2024 docket before Judge Webster. The court has moved your case up approximately 2 months to Friday, January 19, 2024 before Judge Lee. Now, there is a no bond hold that has been ordered by Judge Webster, and the court does not disturb the same. The court does not disturb the same. Okay, anything further?
I'm not entirely sure, so I'll be staying here until January 19th, correct?
And that's on the expedited docket. That would be by Zoom hearing before Judge Lee, correct? Anything?
Okay. The only thing I'm worried about is my job's done, that stuff.
Well, and the court's made a finding already. You work at Spirit, you earn approximately $20 or in excess, and you're full-time. I think a word to the wise would be you might very well want to check with an attorney to see what might be done. You might wish to file a motion to modify your bond from a no bond hold to a specific amount.
All right.
Okay? Anything further?
No, sir. Thank you.
There being nothing further, court is in recess. Have a good day, Mr. Banks.
Hey, Judge, what did you set that bond at? I had to step out.
I retain the no bond hold
Okay,
that Judge Webster ordered. Judge Webster ordered a no bond hold.
okay, thank you, Judge.
Yes. Next case is State of Kansas versus JRegier Hart, 24 CR2. Good afternoon, Ms. Hart.
Good afternoon, you too.
And this is Judge Hart on the other side.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. And do you know what the origin of the surname Hart is?
No,
Deer hunter.
really?
Yes.
That's funny.
Ms. Hart, you're charged by way of information on or about January 1, 2024 in Butler County, Kansas, with possession of fentanyl, a level 5 drug felony. Count 2, you're charged, same date and location, possession of marijuana, class B, non-person, misdemeanor. Count 3, you're charged, same date and location, possession of paraphernalia for use, a class B, non-person, misdemeanor. And Ms. Hart, do you understand the charges pending against you?
Mhm.
Is that a yes?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Hart, you do have the right to counsel. If you could not afford an attorney, one would be appointed to represent you. Are you currently employed?
Not currently, no.
How long has it been since you worked?
I'd say 3 weeks.
Do you have any money saved back to hire an attorney?
No, but my parents should be able to handle that.
But yourself, how old are you?
19 years old?
19 years old. And have you already spoken to your parents about retaining an attorney?
No, not yet. I haven't really got a chance to talk to them.
All right. Well, based on your current situation of unemployed status, not having money retained and saved in order to retain an attorney, based on, pardon me?
Sorry.
No, you go ahead.
Well, I have about like $200 saved.
Well, now this is a felony charge. And I do not believe that there are too many attorneys that would take your case on a $200 retainer. That's my experience in the field. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and appoint counsel to represent you. Jim Watts. Your parents may very well want to assist you and retain an attorney of your choosing other than the court-appointed counsel. However, based on your lack of financial wherewithal, at this time, the court does find you qualify for court-appointed counsel. The court appoints Jim Watts to represent you at all stages of the proceedings. Jim Watts is appointed to represent you at all stages of the proceedings. The court sets this case next before myself. That would be on the felony preliminary hearing control docket, Monday, April 1, 2024 at 2:30. Monday, April 1, 2024 at 2:30 before myself. You do need to be present by Zoom hearing at that time. Now the court needs to set appropriate bond for you. Ms. Hart, what is your current address?
Augusta, Kansas.
And how long have you lived there? How long have you lived at the address that you just stated?
13 years.
Do you live with your parents?
Yes.
And your parents' names?
Ollie Hart and David Hart.
Ollie Hart and David Hart, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And have you ever had a job?
I just worked at Target a few months ago, but I was only seasonal, so I stopped after like Christmas and stuff.
Okay, so you've been employed at Target on a seasonal basis. Okay.
And then I also had a job for like 3 years before that at Medis. It was like a restaurant.
At Medis?
Yes.
Okay. Recommendation for bond, Mr. Regier?
Your Honor, in this particular instance, the state is prepared to proceed with, in addition to all standard conditions, including no drugs or alcohol, a bond of $2,000 cash or surety. In review of the affidavit, it would appear that 22 pills of fentanyl were located inside of a purse, and the defendant did admit that the purse was hers.
And Mr. Regier and Ms. Hart, the court does order all of the conditions of bond that Mr. Regier has placed on the record. All bond conditions is placed on the record, and the court does order, I think that a minimal surety bond in this case is $1,000 to ensure your next appearance. $1,000 cash or surety bond. $1,000 cash or surety bond.
Regier is never impressed. I think I've seen that man smile maybe once. Maybe. Yeah. It's kind of comical to see like how sweet the judge is towards this girl, and he doesn't act like that towards any of the male defendants. I don't even really think he was this gushy with the other female defendants either. But he's just... It's just because they share a last name, even though they're not related. Well, who knows? It might be a short tail relation. He didn't ever say they weren't, but he would have had to recuse himself if they were related. It's just funny. Oh my gosh, I just bumped a button. I am so sorry. There's a little clicky button on the side of my mouse, and apparently when I bump that, it kicks me out. First time I've experienced that. It's the first time I've used this mouse. It's not my fault. I'm sorry. It's this little clicky button right by my thumb. Yep. Right by my thumb, there's a little clicky button. And it kicked me out. Apparently, that's the eject button. Oh, okay, I'm gonna put another one on. Wait, it's not over. Where did it go? It kicked the whole clip out. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, now I gotta put the whole dang thing back up. At least I know where I was.
The next case has to be the court.
A bond of 2,000 cash or
An attorney?
No, not yet. I haven't really got a chance to talk to them.
All right, well, based on your current situation of unemployed status, not having money retained and saved in order to retain an attorney, based on, pardon me?
Sorry.
No, you go ahead.
Well, I have about like $200 saved.
Well, now this is a felony charge. And I do not believe that there are too many attorneys that would take your case on a two-hearing control docket. Okay, recommendation for bond, Mr. Regier.
Your Honor, in this particular instance, the state is prepared to proceed with, in addition to all standard conditions, including no drugs or alcohol, a bond of 2,000 cash or surety. In review of the affidavit, it would appear that 22 pills of fentanyl were located inside of a purse, and the defendant did admit that the purse was hers.
And Mr. Regier and Ms. Hart, the court does order all of the conditions of bond that Mr. Regier has placed on the record. All bond conditions is placed on the record, and the court does order. I think that a minimal surety bond in this case is $1,000 to ensure your next appearance. $1,000 cash or surety bond.
Redheads are never innocent.
$1,000 cash or surety bond. Any questions, Ms. Hart?
You'll catch up.
Thank you.
I love
And
you.
Mr. Regier?
Nothing from the state, Your Honor.
There being nothing further to come before the court is in recess. Have a good
Thank
day,
you.
Ms. Hart.
Yeah.
What was the case number for that, Your Honor?
The case number is 24CR2.
Thank you. I know we have one more, Your Honor, but I believe we were having some behavioral issues with her. Let me check on that real quick.
Okay, we'll take a recess here for just a moment.
Your Honor,
Yes, Jared.
may I have leave of the court to go off camera and off mic briefly?
Surely, no
Thank you.
problem.
Yes. I didn't even know I had mascara everywhere. That's nice. That's probably the least of my worries, huh? Oh my goodness. What do you think they'll do for not getting back to him in time? I lost my phone in time for my, like, an address for it to be sent to. You know what I mean? My bro. Are they close?
Not that I know of.
Just waiting on you. So she's back.
Seems like they would. I just had to go pee.
All right, we're back on first appearances, and the next case is State of Kansas versus Therese Cherie Thomas, 24CR5. Good afternoon, Ms. Thomas.
Hello.
Ms. Thomas, you're charged by way of information on or about January 1, 2024 with interference with law enforcement, a level 9 non-person felony. Count 2, you're charged, same date and location, possession of marijuana, class B, non-person misdemeanor. Ms. Thomas, those are the charges pending against you. Do you understand the charges?
This one looks rough. Like she looks like she was rode hard and put away wet.
Yes, Your Honor. I didn't realize that they had brought this up. This has been from a while ago, like before I got sentenced to prison, but
Well, there have been some charges. These are what are filed
Okay,
and pending. And the date of these alleged actions are January 1 of 2024, meaning yesterday,
what?
meaning yesterday.
Yeah, I didn't,
Interference, law enforcement, a level 9 non-person felony, and count 2, possession of marijuana, class B non-person misdemeanor, allegedly occurring yesterday in Butler County, Kansas.
okay.
You have the right to counsel. If you cannot afford an attorney, one would be appointed to represent you. Are you currently employed?
No, sir, I'm not. I've just been putting in applications and I didn't have any kind of drugs on me yesterday. Like,
Do
yes,
you have
I
any-
was loud
Yes. And do you
at all.
do you have any money saved back to hire an attorney?
No.
Okay, court.
Well, there you go, Judge. She didn't have any drugs on her. Just let her out. Just believe her.
Finds that to be a negative, and subsequently the court finds she lacked financial wherewithal, and the court does appoint Jim Watts to represent you at all stages of the proceedings. Jim Watts is appointed to represent you at all stages of the proceedings. Subsequently, the court sets your next appearance date. This would be before Judge Crum, and this would be on Monday, February 12, 2024 at 2:30. Monday, February 12, 2024 at 2:30 before Judge Crum. You do need to be present by Zoom hearing at that time. Next item of business, the court needs to set appropriate bond for you. What is your current address, Ms. Thomas?
That's why I had gotten picked up is because I didn't have a set address for my parole. The address that I had went to, it was not gonna work out as far as personal matters. But as
Ms.
of
Thomas, what is your current
Friday,
address? What is your current address?
Yeah.
Do you use a phone number? Do you use a phone number?
yeah, I have a phone number, but it's not gonna be on by the time I get out.
Okay, so your phone number has lapsed, is that correct? And you have no phone number?
It will be out in the next day or so. So no, there's not gonna do no good to give you that number.
Okay, do you use an email address?
No, I'm not on any kind of social media and I have a KDOC hold, so I'm not going nowhere.
So where is the hold by KDOC out of which county?
Topeka, I don't know what county that'd be.
So that's Shawnee County, Kansas, is that correct? And you have a hold, whereas you are to be remanded to the Department of Corrections for the state of Kansas. You've already been sentenced, is that correct? Or not?
Yes, Your Honor. Yes.
Okay. Well, how long a term is your sentence?
I've already done all my time. I've already maxed out on my time. Actually, I did more than I was supposed to, but I didn't have an address in time and I lost my phone. So the parole put a warrant out.
Okay, so you got a warrant out from parole
I
out
think,
of Shawnee County. Okay, very well.
That's Topeka, right? Yeah.
And your court has appointed Jim Watts to represent you at all stages of the proceedings. This case has been set before Judge Crum, January 12, 2024. Recommendation as far as bond is concerned, Mr. Regier.
Your Honor, in this particular instance, the state does consider 4,000 cash or surety with all standard conditions to be quite minimal bond. The state would further request no contact with illegal drugs, and a lot of the charges currently before the court, as well as GPS monitoring, as well as any other orders the court may deem fit to issue regarding securing the defendant's appearance. As I understand, this is a defendant that has some quite significant history as far as convictions go.
Well, if that's the case, Checks and Cherries, apparently Pippi Longstockings took out the pipes as well.
Misdemeanor possession of hallucinogenic, misdemeanor possession of drug paraphernalia, misdemeanor interference with law enforcement, felony possession of opiates, as well as at least 2 prior non-drug felony convictions.
And
additionally, my understanding is this defendant has quite significant prior failure to appear history, total of 39 by my count. So the state does consider her a flight risk.
I mean, I'm not getting out anyway.
Thank you, Mr. Regier. The court does adopt all of the conditions of bond as set forth, and the court does adopt the minimal bond for appearance purposes, $4,000 cash assured, 4,000 cash or surety bond. Okay, your bond has been set. Your next date of appearance by Zoom on the preliminary hearing control docket and counsel of Mr. Watts has been ordered. Do you have any questions, Ms. Thomas?
No.
There being nothing further to come before the court is in recess. Have a good day. And Jared, Happy New Year.
You guys are too much. Oh my gosh. Oh. Yeah, that never ends well. Oh my gosh, you guys. All right, it is. You say that like it doesn't happen. I always smile. When am I not smiling? I love you guys so much, every one of you. And I'm so, so grateful for all of the love and support that y'all show me every single night. I couldn't do this without you. From what, did JRegier smile? Did I miss it? I missed it. Oh my God. Oh, wait a minute.
The next case.
I didn't have.
So the state does consider her a flight risk.
I mean, I'm not getting out anyway.
Thank you, Mr. Regier. The court does adopt all of the conditions of bond as set forth, and the court does adopt the minimal bond for appearance purposes, $4,000 cash assured, 4,000 cash or surety bond. Okay, your bond has been set. Your next date of appearance by Zoom on the preliminary hearing control docket and counsel of Mr. Watts has been ordered. Do you have any questions, Ms. Thomas?
No.
There being nothing further to come before the court is in recess. Have a good day. And Jared, Happy New Year. The next case out of the Zoom on the preliminary hearing control docket and counsel of Mr. Watts has been ordered. Do you have any questions?
Come on.
And Jared, Happy New Year.
Ah! Oh my God, he looks toothless there. Oh my God. JRegier's smiling. We've got it, y'all. Oh my goodness. I need to print screen. Look at that. I think I should make that my background. Take it back. Take it back. You know what he reminds me of? Hold on. Oh my gosh. It's been popping up in my freaking shorts constantly lately. I don't know why. I watched one short that had it in it, and now, like, they're all over the place. Stop. No. For freaking sake, stop it. Hold on. That was a bad idea. Okay, hold on. Dang it. I've got to mute this. Okay. I'm going to hit shorts. Mute. God. YouTube, stop it. Okay, I'm going to quit that. It's not working out. There is a lizard. He looks like a certain lizard that keeps popping up in all of my shorts. Golly, it's going to drive me crazy now. Hold on. I've got a better idea. All right, you guys probably cannot see what I'm doing, and that's probably for the best. Give me 30 seconds or less here. Oh, sure. It's not in there now. Of course. Why would it be? Why would YouTube do anything that I want it to do? Nope. YouTube just hates me. That's what it is. Y'all, YouTube hates me. I cannot believe how mean they are. Okay, I give up. I'm just trying to show you. I'll get a picture of it. I know, that's what I said. I'm going to make it my background. I am, man. Somebody said I needed a green screen. Found it. Oh my gosh. Me too. Okay, guys. Hi, Tiana Miller. Philip, I hope you have a wonderful day, my love. Thank you for coming. You sure about that? Should I have you swear to that under oath? No, I love JRegier. I really do. I honestly, like, there's something about his personality. I adore that man. Judge Hart is one of my least favorite judges. And that's entirely because of how he talks. Like, I can't even tell you how long it took me to edit that clip because I had to cut out all the breaks. I was not going to subject you guys to that. And when you reduce a clip by like 30 minutes because you've removed all the breaks, let's see. Okay, so this clip, we're gonna say 58 minutes. The original, give me just a second here. I'm gonna find out what the original is. Just waiting for CapCut to load. It won't, probably. This is a bad idea. And I know it. All right. I'm just waiting for it to finish loading. Oh my goodness. I wonder if I can share this. I think I can. I think I can. So share screen, entire screen. This gets scary when I do this. All right, now I will not be able to see y'all, but this is what the clip ended up looking like. Okay. Look at how many gaps there are. Like, seriously, I cut all of that out. This here is the original, and I'm just waiting to find out how. Oh, there it is. So the original was 1 hour and 25 and a half minutes, basically. Okay. So I removed 25 minutes of Judge Hart speaking like this. It was so unbelievably intolerable. Yeah. Yep. I know you do, my love. And it's so much easier now that I have this amazing keyboard and this mouse that I didn't even know can pair to more than one device. It pairs to 3. So I can actually be editing on my main editing computer and then just click my mouse button a couple times. And it's on the pet cam computer. I haven't gotten used to doing it like that, but I'm pretty sure I can make it work. I'm pretty sure that I can do some amazing stuff being able to control both at the same time, but not. The nice thing is I don't, before when I would edit, I would literally have to lean on my computer desk like this and mess with the keyboard. Like, it was so hard on my back, for one. For two, it was so easy to fall asleep in that position. It was, like, not gonna lie. I sleep. There is no past tense yet, but I sleep at my desk more than I sleep in my bed. And that's not a good thing. All right, y'all. Speaking of which, I am going to go to sleep in my bed. It's waiting for me. Oh, I was just kidding, love. I was just kidding. I was funsing. I do need to go to sleep, though. I know, Annie, though. I love you. Thank you for being here, as always. You guys are so amazing. I am so absolutely blessed. Nighty night. Sleep sweet, y'all. Oh, Patrick B. I would stay longer if I... Well, you know what? Do you guys want one more clip? Let me see how long it is. Give me 1 second here. Give me 1 second here. We haven't lost anybody yet. Stephanie. All caps. Only non-SovCits use the all caps name, Okay. I did something. Speaking of editing. So Kansas dockets, as y'all probably know, for those who sit on the YouTube court channels a lot, Kansas pulls their dockets almost immediately. If you don't get it at the beginning, you don't get it. Well, guess what? I got a cool one. I not only got a cool one, I got a cool one of the pretrial, and then I got the sentencing. And both individually are good clips, but together, they're freaking phenomenal. Another FTC.
This is in the District Court of Elk County, Kansas, case entitled State of Kansas versus Margaret Diane Mock. It's case number 22 CR 59. Jill Gillette appears as Elk County attorney. Shannon Cooper is defense counsel. Margaret Mock appears from, I think, the Elk County detention facility. This matter comes before the court at this time for further proceedings.
Emily, I streamed for over 7 hours one night, and that took 3 days of nonstop editing. Like, seriously, I did not sleep for 3 days to do that. What more do you want from me? I love you.
Ms. Cooper, what announcement is made at this time?
Thank you, Your Honor. We have reached a plea agreement in Ms. Mock's case. Since the problems the court system has had with the electronic filing, I don't have a copy of her amended complaint in front of me. I think Ms. Gillette has one with her, but what Ms. Mock is going to be pleading to is a non-person burglary. I'm just not sure which count it is because I don't have that in front of me. I have some notes from, but I didn't have a printed copy before the shutdown happened. So she's prepared to enter a no contest plea. The state is prepared at sentencing to recommend the mid number in the box she falls in. We anticipate she'll be criminal history score E.
All right. I will note that count 1 is a burglary of a dwelling, but it's listed as severity level 7 non-person on the charging document. I also see a number of other non-dwelling counts, level 9s set forth in count 6 through 8.
I think
So
it
which
was
one
count.
is going to be the one she pleads to?
From my notes, it would be count 7.
All right.
7 should reflect a blue shed.
Yes,
Thank
I
you,
see that.
That's the one, Your Honor.
All right. And then the other counts would be dismissed pursuant to plea agreement, correct, Ms. Cooper?
Right.
Do you agree with that announcement, Ms. Gillette?
We do, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Mock, importantly, is it your intention to enter a no contest plea and accept conviction for count 7, burglary of a non-dwelling? Go ahead and be seated. Which would be a severity of level 9 non-person felony?
Yes, sir.
I have a number of questions I need to ask you regarding the taking of the plea. If there's anything you don't understand, I'll give you the opportunity to confer privately with your lawyer at any point. Just let the court know if you need that time to get further advice, okay?
Okay.
State your full legal name for the record.
My name is Margaret Diane Mock,
How old are you right now?
45.
Okay. What's the highest level of education that you've attained?
I have some college.
Do you believe you're going to have difficulty understanding any of the legal concepts that we're going to be discussing in court here this morning?
No, sir.
Have you ever been adjudged to be mentally ill?
I take mental health drugs. I take medication for mental health. But
Are you taking the medications that you're supposed to be taking for your mental health right now while you're in jail?
Yes, sir.
Do you believe that these medications help your mental condition?
Yes, sir.
Do you believe your mind is free and clear this morning?
Yes, sir.
You don't feel under the influence of alcohol or any other drug?
No, sir.
All right. Did you receive a copy of the original or the amended charging document in this case, which includes this count 7?
My lawyer has.
All right. Do you understand the nature of the charge of burglary of a non-dwelling?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you hesitated. It's just simply that you
I was just,
burglarized a shed. Is that what you understand the charge to be?
yes, sir.
All right. When you enter a no contest plea, you do not necessarily admit that you committed that act, but you're also not contesting that you be convicted just the same. You understand that, Ms. Mock?
Yes, sir.
You also understand that when you enter a plea of no contest, you give up any legal defenses that you might have had to that charge.
Yes, sir.
Are you aware that in a trial, the state must present evidence against you in open court, that any witnesses must testify in open court in your presence, that you have the right to cross-examine witnesses with the assistance of your lawyer, Ms. Cooper, and that you could present evidence at your trial and subpoena your own witnesses to court?
Yes, sir.
You also understand that at such a trial, you personally would have a privilege against self-incrimination, which means that if you wanted to testify in your case under oath, you could at your choice, but no one could force you or compel you to testify against yourself if you didn't want to. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
You understand that when you enter a plea of no contest, you give up these valuable trial rights that the court has described here today.
Yes, sir.
You also understand that you have a right to a trial by jury, and that before you could be found guilty, that jury would have to be satisfied as to your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt.
Yes, sir.
You understand that when you enter a plea of no contest, you give up your right to a trial by jury and the requirement that you be found guilty beyond a reasonable doubt.
Yes, sir.
You also understand that you have a right to appeal a guilty verdict if you have a trial.
Yes, sir.
You further understand that you may appeal your sentence after entering a plea of no contest, but generally, you may not appeal your judgment of conviction after you enter such a plea.
Yes, sir.
Now, are you aware of the possible penalties that could be imposed as a result of this no contest plea that you're attempting to make?
Yes, sir.
If this would be a level 9 felony in the best criminal history category on the level 9 non-drug offense line under the Sentencing Guidelines Act, you could receive as little as a 5-month prison sentence. In the worst criminal history category of A, you could receive up to a 17-month sentence. So the sentencing range is 5 to 17 months in prison, depending on your criminal history. Ms. Mock, as you sit today, we do not know with certainty what your criminal history is. You better than anyone else here ought to know what your own criminal record looks like. But that will be researched by court services. And based on the outcome of their research as of the date of your sentencing, that will determine where you fall along the level 9 line, and then you'll be sentenced accordingly. Do you understand that?
So may I ask a question? So I will do anywhere from 5 to 17 months in prison?
Well, we haven't got to that point yet, but I think I'll go ahead and address it. In category C through I criminal history, this is presumptive probation.
Okay.
Categories A and B, if you have 2 or more person felonies on your record already, it would be presumptive prison. You understand that?
Yes.
All right. You also understand that you could receive up to a $100,000 fine for this offense?
Yes.
In addition to any fine, are you aware that you could be assessed and be required to pay certain costs, including reimbursement of legal fees and expenses and restitution to victims, if any are owed, as part of your sentencing orders?
Yes, sir.
You also understand that as a direct consequence of this plea, you will be sentenced to an extended period of reporting probation, reporting parole, or post-release supervision, which is your state parole time that you do after you get out of prison, as
Yes,
deemed
sir.
appropriate by the court at time of sentencing.
Yes, sir.
All right. You also understand that the Kansas Sentencing Guidelines Act is much more than just the grid that I referred to earlier. It's
Yes,
a whole book of sentencing rules and laws. Do you understand that if any special rules apply to you in your situation, it could affect your eligibility for probation or otherwise affect your sentence?
Yes, sir.
Have you had an opportunity to discuss matters like this with Shannon Cooper, your attorney, before proceeding here today?
Yes, sir.
Are you satisfied with the services and advice given to you by your lawyer?
Yes, sir.
This no contest plea that you're attempting to make, has it been based upon any threat or promises as to what this court will do in regards to your sentence or any other type of threat or promise?
No.
All right. Is there anything you thought was part of the plea deal that hasn't been discussed on the record accurately already?
No, sir.
You understand that if there are any plea deals between your counsel and the county attorney's office regarding sentencing recommendations, that this court is not bound by any agreements made. The court may and shall consider them as recommendations, but is not bound by them. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
So let me ask you, how do you formally plead to the charge in count 7? Burglary of a non-dwelling, a severity level 9, non-person felony.
Do I stand up now or no? Oh, I plead to no contest.
All right. The state should provide a factual basis at this time.
Your Honor, on December 1st of 2022, the owners of a piece of property in Elk County that's in rural Elk County. It's kind of near the border of Greenwood and Elk, but it is in Elk. Trying to think of the exact address. It's in Elk County. It is a piece of property maintained mostly for hunting and vacation purposes by a family. They had been there to check the property in the morning and had reset up the gate. Later on, they drove back by, noticed the gate was down and that a truck was there. They went onto the property and found one truck out near the road and another truck up in the property. When they pulled in, Ms. Mock and 2 other individuals were in a blue shed. Another individual, 4th individual, came out from behind the barn where they had been in and out of the barn through the back where it had been opened. And they were pulling items out of the blue shed, staging them to be taken. Some things were already on a truck and some things were staged in the grass between the truck and the shed. And they were confronted, they fled. Ms. Mock ended up, the first time they saw Ms. Wells's truck moved just slightly down the road. She was by herself. When they came back to the truck, Ms. Mock was with Ms. Wells. Their cell phones were recovered and later downloaded, and the cell phones contained information about the cops arriving, trying to flee, trying to delete messages about this incident. So it was a burglary in progress that was interrupted.
Very well. All right, Ms. Mock, at this time, are you making a plea of no contest and accepting conviction for count 7 freely, knowingly, and voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Cooper, do you know of any legal reason why the court should not accept your client's plea?
I don't, Your Honor.
Ms. Gillette, are you aware of any such legal reason?
I am not, Your Honor.
Ms. Mock, are you aware of a legal reason or any other good reason why the court should not accept your plea of no contest today?
No, sir.
Court will accept the no contest plea and finds that that plea is made voluntarily. She has an understanding of the nature of the charge and the consequences of the plea, and a factual basis for the plea does exist. Court finds the defendant guilty, and the judge is her therefore convicted of burglary of a non-dwelling, a severity level 9 non-person felony. All other charges of the information are dismissed pursuant to plea agreement. Court orders a pre-sentence report be completed to accurately determine Ms. Mock's criminal history, and the court will set an appropriate date for sentencing. Ms. Gillette, your commitments on Wednesdays, I'm looking at January 31 as a sentencing date. Are you generally going to be expected to be elsewhere in the afternoon on those dates?
In the afternoon, we have first appearances at 1:30, and I have down
Tell them in Elk.
a pretrial conference with Judge Lee and Pate in the afternoon because the misdemeanor jury trials are the next week. I have all morning marked off for you, and if we need part of the afternoon, we can do that as well.
Your Honor, on the 31st, I'm scheduled for a trial that's supposed to be all day, but normally Wednesdays are good for me.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and expedite the setting on this. I'm going to move this up to Thursday, January the 4th.
That's my birthday.
Good day to be sentenced on a felony then, Ms. Mock.
No, it's not.
Thursday, January 4. I'd be looking at 2:00 p.m.
I can do that.
So the sentencing in Ms. Mock's Elk County case will be by Zoom Thursday, January 4. Ms. Mock, do you have other holds on you?
No, sir.
How long have you been in jail now?
Almost 2 months.
I believe that was all caused by you failing to show up in court.
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Mock, I think you've done enough time.
Thank you.
But here's what my concerns are, that you're gonna go out and you're gonna do drugs, that you're gonna go out and you're gonna commit more crimes, that you're not gonna show up for court in January when I've said it, or you're not gonna cooperate with the pre-sentence investigation process.
I will cooperate.
Do I need to worry about those things or not, Ms. Mock?
No, no, sir, I learned my lesson.
I hope so by now.
Yes, sir.
I think you've also rather painfully found out what it's like to be incarcerated and not be able to address other things in your life that you really needed to be there for.
Yeah.
And I regret that that happened, but I think you've learned your lesson now too. And you're not going to take a chance and go into your felony sentencing with this court and not show up and not be prepared for it, right?
I will not do that.
All right. And where are you going to be living if you get out? Ms. Mock?
I own a home in Eureka, but do you know where Reese, Kansas is?
Yes.
That suburb of Eureka, kind of. My mom lives there. She's not been able to go home because my dad was her caretaker. So either one of them two homes. My home, if my mom's ready to go back to her home, it'll be in my mom's home. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. You'd be in Greenwood County.
I want to make sure I'm giving her the right number. I'm going to need you to contact Court Services Department as soon as you get out, Ms. Mock.
I'll go there today.
I don't know if they have anybody in the building today. Do you know if they do, Jill? Okay.
I'm not sure, Judge. I talked with Carrie last night because I had a question about a sentencing.
Well, I want you to call the main court services office right away, Ms. Mock. And I bet you they'd even let you use the phone there at the jail if you needed to. Talk to them, area code. That's the main court services office in El Dorado. Let them know that you entered a felony plea in Elk County. And what else do you need to do?
Yes, sir.
And then follow their directions about the pre-sentence investigation process.
Yes, sir.
Ms. Mock, I'm going to place you on a $3,000 OR bond at this point.
Okay.
You need to get sober. That's what you need to do.
I am trusting that you're going to do what you're supposed to do and you're not going to cause any problems for this court between now and the time of your sentencing.
That's correct. Thank
Okay.
you. Thank you,
I know
Mr.
You sound really good today, Margie, but I mean it. You've got to follow through on stuff so that there's no problem with sentencing. I've set a really short time frame for your sentencing, so you're going to have to get on things right away.
Margie.
I will.
All right?
Thank you.
And I will
Judge.
require that you live
He called her
in
Margie.
Elk or Greenwood County
Okay, thank you.
while you're.
That just shows that he has a history with her, that she has been in front of him probably many times. He called her Margie. And just so y'all know, the original was, let me see here really quickly. So the original case was run November 22nd, and then the sentencing was on January 4th. So that's the time frame that I had to go in between the two to be able to put this clip together for y'all.
On bond here.
Okay, thank you.
3,000 OR.
She needs to take her mental health drugs. We've gone to getting her back on her mental health medication, so it has to make sure she takes her mental health drugs while she's
I
out.
think that's a fair condition. You need to take your mental health medications as prescribed, Ms. Mock.
They not only help with my mental health, but they help with my drug addiction as well, because it changes my attitude. So it does help me with cravings and stuff like that too. So yeah, thank you.
Okay, well, I'm just hoping you don't backslide while I've let you out on bond, Ms. Mock.
Nope, I won't.
Right. Okay, we've got our sentencing date set for January 4 at 2 o'clock. I am going to have you appear at the Elk County facility for your Zoom meeting.
Okay, right here.
Yes, and then hopefully the Elk County Sheriff's Department can assist you with that.
Okay.
Thursday, January 4th, 2 o'clock. Make sure you get in there a little early so they can get you checked in and get you set up.
Okay. Thank you.
Contact that Court Services Department today.
Thank
Okay.
you. I will.
All right. Ms.
Bye.
Gillette, anything further?
Not from the state, Judge.
Ms. Cooper, anything further at this time?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Any questions, Ms. Mock?
Happy Thanksgiving to you all. Thank you.
Same to you, Ms. Mock.
Thank you. You too.
There's nothing further. The mock matter will currently be in recess, and this meeting may be ended for all at this time. This is in the District Court of Elk County, Kansas, case entitled State of Kansas versus Margaret Diane Mock. It is case number 22 CR 59. Margie Mock appears from a remote access location. I'm presuming this is at the Elk County Courthouse or the Sheriff's Office in Elk County?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right.
Now it's Margie Mock. Yeah, they've got history. I'm sure of it.
Shannon Cooper appears as defense counsel. Jill Gillette appears as Elk County attorney.
Sorry, it bumped me out weird.
I had some technical difficulties trying to get joined to this meeting as well. This matter comes before the court at this time for sentencing. According to the information in the pre-sentence report, the defendant pled and was found guilty of count 7 of the third amended information, burglary of a non-dwelling, a severity level 7 non-person felony. The remaining counts were dismissed by the state pursuant to plea agreement. A pre-sentence and a report was ordered. Sentencing set for today. Court has received the pre-sentence investigation report compiled by Sarah Wheeler, pre-sentence investigator, who is also on this meeting with us. A trustee's attorney has received a copy of this report, and I'll ask the prosecuting attorney first. Is there any objection to the criminal history as stated in the report?
Judge, not to the criminal history, but we have one legal matter we have to take up on this matter. When we did Miss Mock's plea, it was announced as a level 9, which would be an attempted or a mess up. There was a mess up in one of the prior complaints, and it was listed as a 9 when it should have been a 7. So what was actually announced on the record was a level 9 instead of a level 7. To rectify that, I have talked with Miss Cooper. We had some discussions about making this an attempt of burglary of a non-dwelling because they were in the middle of the break-in when it was interrupted, which would keep this at the level 9 that she would have been announced during the plea. It would change the sentencing range to a 9, which would put her as a category E in 9, 10, or 11 months. It is still a presumptive probation and would not change, I don't believe, the rest of the PSI. Criminal history would remain the same. Post-release remains the same. The probation time would be 12 months instead of 24. That would be one of the other changes. But that was what was announced during the plea. But I believed that we should put that on the record so that the court was aware and everyone was aware about what happened during the plea. I did not catch it until after the hearing, and I talked with Miss Cooper about it. We would make sure that all journal entries and the amended complaint would match that. And she is still on, she was on community corrections with the Greenwood County 19 CR 201 at the time this case was committed. That would still remain the same.
All right, Ms. Cooper, what was the offense that your client pled to?
So she was pleading to burglary of a non-dwelling, assuming it was a level 9 non-person felony. Ms. Gillette has since agreed to file an amended complaint charging count 7 as an attempt, making that a level 9 instead, attempt of the same charge. When I received the PSI, I did not have access to the court file, as most of us don't. I have since looked in the Odyssey, but I don't know that it's updated, and I don't think Ms. Gillette has filed that amended complaint yet, unless it's just on paper and not scanned.
Certainly, the defendant's not compromised by a lessening of the charge.
Right.
Court's concern is that she didn't plead to what she's going to be sentenced on today. Ms. Mock, do you understand what's going on here?
I don't understand.
Well, I don't either, so you're not alone. As I understand it, what they're really wanting to hold you criminally responsible for is an attempt to commit the burglary of a non-dwelling, which lessens the crime as far as severity level and number of months of sentence. So
Okay.
the amendment as proposed, which is instead of you being sentenced for burglary of a non-dwelling, it's an attempt to do that act, the very same act, but an attempt to do it, which lowers the severity level from a 7 to a 9, lowers the number of months that you're subject to as far as imprisonment is concerned, and lowers the amount of the possible probation duration should the court grant probation, which is far from clear at this point. But nevertheless, that's what the attorneys are speaking of here as they're discussing these changes. So
Okay.
there's nothing about the changes, as the court understands, that would be more severe. Everything would be less severe.
Okay, thank
So
you.
I trust that you are willing to accept all of the procedures that we did earlier regarding a felony plea to apply to this severity level 9 lesser attempt to burglarize a non-dwelling.
It sounds like it'd be in my benefit, so.
Do you need to talk to your attorney privately about it?
No, I understand now. Thank you.
All right. Ms. Cooper, is there anything that you would add to this discussion that you haven't already stated?
No, just to, to clarify with Ms. Mock, the changes do not change what was announced at her plea as far as the maximum possible sentence or the sentencing range, because she was advised as if it was a level 9 in the first place.
But when we did the plea, Miss Cooper had the older complaint. And so because of all the computer issues and stuff that we had. So it was announced as burglary of a non-dwelling, a level 9 at plea. So she was advised of a level 9 at plea. And in order to continue to have a level 9 for sentencing, the state has agreed, because it was actually an attempt. They were removing things from the building at the time that it was interrupted. It would be consistent with a level 9 and the factual pattern to add attempt instead of raising it to a level 7 and having to replea her.
Ms. Cooper, did you provide Ms. Mock with a copy of at least the face sheet of the pre-sentence report?
No, I haven't, because I noticed it had the level 7 on it, and I've been trying to figure out how this might be rectified before 2 o'clock today, but it hadn't happened yet.
All right, so she hasn't been misled by the face sheet, which would indicate a much greater sentencing range than she perhaps was previously advised.
Right.
All right. Well, it would appear that Ms. Mock is acquiescing in the changes. Ms. Cooper recognizes these changes need to be made, as does Ms. Gillette. All parties are in agreement that the sentencing will go forth as an attempted burglary of a non-dwelling, a severity level 9, non-person felony with a criminal history score, which is indicated on the face sheet as E. Is there, and I trust there is no objection to a sentencing under grid box 9E, correct, Ms. Cooper?
That's correct, Your Honor. No objection.
And Ms. Gillette?
No objection.
Very well, we'll proceed further. With that discussion now held, Ms. Gillette, is there any other legal reason why the sentencing should not proceed further at this time?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Cooper, is there any such legal reason?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Mock, do you know of a legal reason or any other good reason why the court should not proceed further with your sentencing?
No, sir.
All right. Counsel, I'm not aware that there's been a departure or other sentencing related motion to take up. Does the state have any such motions to pursue?
The state does not, Your Honor.
Does the defense, Ms. Cooper?
No, Your Honor.
Are there any victims and members of a victim's family present who desire to address the court in relation to the mock sentencing? No such persons are apparent. Court will ask at this time for recommendations from counsel regarding an appropriate sentence for a severity level 9 felony with a grid box placement of E. We'll begin with Jill Gillette on behalf of the state.
10 to
Judge, we would
15-ish.
ask the court to follow the plea and agreements of the party. We believe that Ms. Mock should have 10-month standard sentence. This was committed while on probation for a felony. By special rule, unless manifest injustice, it should be consecutive to the case that she was on probation for. That is listed on the top sheet of the criminal history worksheet. It's page 5. That's Greenwood County 19 CR 201. It is a felony. She was sentenced February 3rd of 22. She may have since completed that probation. I'm not sure. She be assigned probation of 12 months. And we would ask for court costs, probation fee. She was on community corrections for her other case. And she scores for community corrections in here. So we'd ask for the correctional supervision fee. Her DNA is already on record. There's not a KBI lab fee. The victims in this matter asked for $250 for new locks. It's been ordered joint and several and other co-defendants cases. That's the only amount that's been asked for. We'd ask you to inquire pursuant to Robinson for bids, attorney and application fee. There is a booking and fingerprint fee of $45. We ask that it be assessed. The standard terms of and conditions of probation. There have been some issues with Ms. Mock having contact with Mr. Austin, who is a co-defendant. We'd ask that she continue to have no contact with any of her co-defendants. We do not believe it's in her best interest to be around other individuals. He also has drug cases pending, so we'd ask that she not do that. I believe an underlying issue with her is drug use, and that part of her issues stem from that. She was supposed to successfully complete drug and alcohol treatment as part of her other case. We'd ask that she continue to do that. She does take mental health medications. Those were asked about during her plea. We'd ask that she continue to take all mental health treatments as recommended and all prescribed medications for her mental health, and cooperate with her ISO on releases to let them know that she is doing that. We've spent some time to get her back on her mental health drugs and away from methamphetamine. So we'd ask that she continue on her mental health drugs.
Very well. Ms. Cooper, your recommendations regarding an appropriate sentence?
Thank you, Your Honor. I agree with Ms. Gillette. I think a 10-month underlying sentence with 12 months of probation is appropriate here. Ms. Mock has been back out on bond since November 22nd, so about 6 weeks. The conditions suggested by Ms. Gillette were conditions of her bond. I think they're appropriate, and I'd ask the court to grant Ms. Mock probation today.
How much are your fees in the representation of this client?
They'd probably add up to $1,300.
Thank you.
Judge, there is jail time credit. I did not announce that.
It's on the face sheet. Presumably that's correct?
I believe so, Your Honor, counting the last several she spent from October to November in custody.
Ms. Mock, at this time, the court will address you personally, and I'll ask you if you have any statements that you wish to make in mitigation of punishment or anything further that you would like to present to the court. Ms. Mock?
Other than, I've been out of jail and, been doing really good. I got a job, a really good job. And I've been.
What are you doing? What's your job?
I work at the candy factory in Iowa.
Okay, I think I know what a candy factory probably does.
Yeah.
That's just some creative name for a bar somewhere.
It makes candy, Russell Stover's.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I work night
What do
shift.
you do there?
I'm sanitation crew. I work night shift and I go in and clean and sanitize everything.
Okay, so, and that's obviously a very important job at any food processing plant.
It's got very good benefits and good pay, so that's
Okay,
right.
so how much money are you making at that job?
I'm over $20 an hour.
Okay, and how many hours a week do you work?
40.
All right.
Well, I mean, I work 4 nights a week. I work 10 and a half hours a night. So
All right, so To commute to a job in Iola, where are you currently residing?
I own a house in Eureka.
So you just make the commute for each shift in Eureka?
Yes, it's just 4 days a week.
Are you currently in any type of drug treatment program?
I'm in a drug treatment program, on Zoom, with, Amanda's a counselor, and I think it was called Miracles, so, yeah,
All right. Anything else you want to say?
today's my birthday. Maybe that'll help you.
It's your birthday today?
Yes.
Judge
All
Ricky
right.
forgot.
Mr. Clausing, I have a representative from Community Corrections on this meeting. The court wishes to address him.
Yes,
Mr.
sir.
Clausing, do you happen to know the current status of Greenwood County case number 19 CR 201?
Yes, Your Honor. She was extended on that and it expires in February of 2024. And it was extended for her to pay off her case and continue with her treatment.
How much does she still owe on that case?
I don't know off the top of my head, Your Honor.
Okay,
It was about
that's fine.
$1,000 at the time.
All right. Is she currently reporting as directed?
Yes, since she got out of jail, she's missed 2 of her appointments since November 22nd, but it was because she's been tired and she works nights and they've been going to Greenwood on Thursday mornings and I've knocked on her door. She just hasn't shown up. I don't think she's doing anything nefarious. I think she truly is tired. We've set up an appointment for her to come in on Tuesdays so she can make it now instead of being tired before her work week starts. But seems to be doing really well since she's been released from jail.
All right.
She's got a job.
Thank you for that update information, Mr. Clausen.
Thank you, Your Honor.
We'll pronounce sentence in this case at this time. Court hereby establishes count 7 as the base sentence in this case for the offense of attempted burglary of a non-dwelling, a severity level 9, non-person, non-drug felony, in which the defendant has a criminal history score of PE, thus placing her in grid box 9E. Court hereby sentences the defendant to a term of 11 months in the custody of the Secretary of Corrections of the state of Kansas. On this sentence, the defendant may earn up to 20% of good time credit and would be subject to 12 months of post-release supervision. Court has considered but declines to impose a fine in this particular case. Court does note the application of a special rule despite the presumptive probation aspect of the case. Court considers the defendant's behavior, criminal behavior in this case, to be flagrant and unnecessary and part of a pattern of criminal behavior which is reflected by her criminal history score. Ms. Mock, I find myself struggling as to whether you are really an appropriate part of the community or if the court should just invoke the special rule and send you to prison, which it has full authority to do. I do note, however, that during the pendency of this case, your situation does seem to have improved, starting with your attitude. And I'm actually impressed that you're working this job at this candy factory in Iola, making these commutes, and still, I think, doing fairly well with your reporting and other requirements with Mr. Clausing in community corrections. Therefore, the court at this juncture, though it has imposed the maximum sentence, the aggravated sentence overall, is inclined to give you an opportunity in the community on this case, Ms. Mock. And the court will order at this time the defendant to be on 12 months reporting probation to be supervised by community corrections. Due to the special rule application in the case, that's deemed to be appropriate, not to mention the fact that she's already on community corrections with Mr. Clausing, and it seems appropriate to maintain her with that supervision.
Dang it. It did it again. Gosh. I'm so sorry, guys. Give me 2 seconds. It's almost done. I'm learning.
At this time, the defendant to be she shall abide by any curfew or travel restrictions associated with community corrections probation, follow all standard conditions of probation, not have in her possession firearms or dangerous weapons, and avoid disreputable characters and places. Sometimes people wonder Ms. Mock, what disreputable characters and places really means. Generally speaking, anywhere that the primary source of business is alcohol is a disreputable place for a probationer, because you're not supposed to be drinking anyway. So why be there?
I don't drink.
Well, that's good to hear. Disreputable persons would be anybody who would expose you to drugs. That's simple. If that person could expose you to illegal drugs, they are not your friend. They are, in the view of the court, a disreputable character that you're supposed to stay away from. During the course of treatment, however, that would be a different situation because that's a controlled setting. But I mean, out in the community, socially, those are the disreputable characters that you need to stay away from to be successful. Court will be assessing in this case felony docket fee, felony probation fee, community corrections fee, $45 booking fee, and $250 of restitution in this case. Ms. Mock, I'm going to set you up initially with a $100 a month requirement on your obligations in this case. That's independent of anything you owe anywhere else.
Okay.
And that will start with the calendar month of January and every subsequent month until your case here is paid off in full.
Who do I pay that to?
Be the clerk of the district court in Greenwood County.
In Greenwood County? Okay.
Yes. Oh, excuse me, Elk County.
Okay, okay.
It's an Elk County case. Yes, you pay the clerk where your case is pending. That'd be the Elk County District Court clerk.
I can make a payment today.
Excellent. I hope they're on this meeting so that they know why you're paying it. But you
Oh.
want to make sure that you identify your case number,
Okay.
which is 22 CR 59. You must successfully complete your drug treatment and any aftercare requirements. Ms. Mock, take all medications as prescribed and attend all mental health treatments as recommended. We just don't want you to mess up in the future, Ms. Mock.
I know. Thank
You
you.
are in a precarious position. You could have been sent to prison today.
I know.
Instead, you're going to be released into the community to keep working, keep taking care of your own house and your own affairs. So, but just don't leave here with the idea that you're going to get multiple or endless opportunities to be successful. Either resolve to deal with your drug issues and stay out of trouble, or prison is going to be the alternative. And it's an alternative that you essentially would choose. I'd rather have you in the community and choose that. I hope that you feel the same way.
Thank you.
Okay, and as I understand it, Mr. Flossing, Ms. Mock already has an appointment set with you for her next appointment?
Yes, right, Margaret?
Yes. Tuesday.
When is it?
Tuesday at 10.
Very good.
All right. Well, I've got some other matters that I need to address at this time. Regarding jail time credit, defendant has earned 47 days of jail time credit to be reflected by the sentencing journal entry. At some point in the future, Ms. Mock, you may have the right to seek expungement of this offense. Certain statutory limitations do apply. You have any question about your right to someday seek expungement, you can address those to a lawyer and I'm sure get your questions answered. Under certain limited circumstances, a defendant may have the right to appeal a conviction to an appellate court having jurisdiction. And if you're unable to pay the cost of an appeal, you, the defendant, may request the court to appoint a lawyer to represent you on appeal and that you be supplied with a transcript of trial court proceedings. Pursuant to KSA 22-3608C, you, the defendant, have 14 days after this judgment in court to file any notice of appeal with the clerk of the District Court of Elk County, Kansas. You do have the right to appeal this sentence. If the court has ruled adversely to you at this hearing, I will remind you there's prohibitions against a convicted felon possessing a firearm, and that there are losses of certain civil rights, such as the right to vote, until your sentence is fully discharged. Ms. Gillette.
Now, if she appeals the sentence, will it go back to the level 7 that it was originally being charged at, or would it stay at the level 9 that they switched it to? I'm pretty sure that it would stay at the level 9 the level 9 that it got switched to because of the paperwork mix-up. This was during the time that all computer systems were down in Kansas, court systems. So nobody could print, nobody could file. It was just down. They were doing everything by hand.
Are you aware of other sentencing related matters that the court has not yet fully addressed?
Could you repeat the attorney fee amount for me, Judge, please?
I'm not assessing any bids assessments against Ms. Mock at this time.
Okay.
Those are waived. And this is, to the extent necessary, consecutive to Greenwood County case number 19 CR 201.
And I was just making sure did you mention firearm restriction, Judge? Civil
did.
right? I think that covers all my boxes I have to check, Judge.
Ms. Cooper, is there anything else that we need to address from your perspective?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
All right. Mr. Clausing, do you need any clarification regarding Ms. Mock and her probation conditions?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Mock, do you have any questions for the court regarding what we've done here today?
No, Your Honor.
Good luck to you. I hope you're successful on this probation.
Thank
Ms.
you.
Wheeler, I appreciate your work on this pre-sentence report. Things got a little fouled up, but I don't think any of it is due to any mistake that you've made. I think there was just some confusion, and I appreciate your work on the case.
Honor like me to file an amended pre-sentence investigation. The one that you have currently has not been filed with the court file yet, but we can file it, and then I can do an amended pre-sentence investigation if that would make the most sense.
I request you to do so, Ms. Wheeler.
Yes, Your Honor.
I would want the pre-sentence report that's ultimately in the file to be correct.
Yes, Your Honor.
And that's what we've done here today.
I wasn't sure what the journal entry would show, if there would be a reflection of a objection to the criminal or to the pre-sentence in some form or fashion. So, but yes, we do need them to make sense and match up. So
Thank you for your efforts in that regard. And you don't need to see her by Zoom at this time, Mr. Clausing?
No, Your Honor, I've already talked to her today.
Okay, excellent. And at this time, this mock matter will currently be in recess, and this meeting may be ended for all at this time.
Thank you.
Hey, me too, Tammy. Me too. No, I was close. I was really close. That silly button, I'm going to have to find out. I'm going to have to look in the settings and see if there's a way to disable the eject button, because that's not cool. That is not cool to have that right there where my thumb is. Yeah. And that sucks because I really like that mouse. And I really love my keyboard. So there's got to be settings. I'm sure there is. I just got to find them and deal with it another time. Good. That's good to hear, Mortimer Duke. I'm always, a week or two behind on clips because of the way I do things and how much time it takes, because, it takes at minimum the length of the clip plus half the length of the clip to edit it at minimum. But if it requires if it requires extra done to it, then that just adds time. But so to come up with 3 hours of content every night takes a lot of time during the day. And not every docket you click on is gold. So yeah, I watch a lot of dockets that have nothing good, no reason to stream it. And so then I just click on the next and see if I find something there. But anyways, guys, I'm getting so tired. I'm starting to ramble. I love you guys so much, and I'm so grateful for you. And this time, I really am going to bed. Otherwise, I'm going to fall asleep at my keyboard again. Last night, I clicked the end stream button. I'm not even kidding you. I clicked it, and the stream ended, and I woke up in my chair like 4 hours later. Yep, it's a good thing I got this nice comfy chair. All right, guys. I will see you tonight. Be safe, be well, sleep sweet, and much love.